Also, I'm a little up. There we are. Hi, everyone. Hello. I hope you've all been well. I am feeling better. Super better. And hi. Hold on. Disco, right? I believe that's the other name given to you. Hello. Welcome in. I seem to always get my ideas only when, only at the last minute. Hi, is Arcarion? Welcome into stream. I can try again. Welcome in. She's still back for real this time. Indeed, I am in, a complete 3D now. Hello, and hi, Mordor. Welcome into stream. Welcome in. I just got an idea, so I'm gonna see if I can execute this super duper quickly. I'm talking fast, and I won't say what it is, but I hope. Let's see. You know, I'm super curious, and if this is a possibility, I'm so curious. Hold on, let's see. And is it Seratus? Welcome in. Hi. And no need to say the name. I know it's difficult. It is, but I want to get better at speaking. So if I can, I'll try. And that's at least the hope, is that eventually I can get good at saying names, no matter the difficulty. And something to do with the pitch? Not quite this time. Let's see. Plank and then says, and then that there. I think that should work. And then if I do, let's see, that and that we're about to say. Oh boy. I hope you're all doing well though. I hope your week's gone well. I have unfortunately been sick for like the last 2 days, but I am feeling so much better now. Unfortunately, we had to end the stream yesterday really early. However, I hope that next week what we'll be able to do is we can do a good old fun thing where we do 2 pixel art streams. That way we can kind of do a little bit of catch up with what we missed. Let's see, right click that, do you here, and then, oh, I did not do that, okay. If I do you there, and then I do, let's see, this bot is weird, I tell you. And mustard. What about mustard, huh? Let's see, add, and then if I do you here, yes, and then I do you here, and then I do you here, does that work? Like that? Uh-huh. Everything's, oh, core. Okay, hold on, okay. Let's see. You, remove you, type in core, and then COMM. Let's see, you there. And then we're going to say, yeah. Now, is there any way? Interesting. Okay, so it didn't go the way I thought it would, but that's okay. I'm curious to see. I can always disable it, but I'm just so curious. Let's see. I see a countdown. Yeah. And hi, Torin. Welcome back into stream. And we need to catch up and do tomato this time. Oh boy. Did you know sometimes things just aren't meant to be. We will get to tomato next week though, for certain, if everything goes well. And use the ketchup. So I wanted to say mustard. Oh, I see. And I'm glad you feel better. Thank you. And is there a possibility that something explodes after the countdown? Not at all, Torin. This is the part of the stream at the very beginning. And actually, let me scoot. There we are. This is the start of the stream where we just chat for a little bit. Now, let me see if this works the way I think it will. If I do that, does it do the thing? Interesting. Okay, I will save that then for another time. How do I disable you? Yeah. I don't want you enabled at the moment. How do I disable you? Disable. There we go. Okay, I'll see if I can do that next week. Oh boy. Saying that though, and what do you mean by no explosion? What do you mean? 3, 2, 1. See? Explosion! That's as dramatic as it's gonna get. And hi, Mr. Big. Welcome into stream. And a random viewer, in fact. Don't let her gaslight ya. I have never been a gaslighter, all right? It's just been, everything has been fine. It's always been fine. Welcome into today's stream, though. Yeah. Those are words. I'm doing the words correctly. Make sure I didn't miss anyone. Let's see. Explosion, reviewer, ketchup, tomato. Yep. I think we're all good to go. Today should be a lot of fun. It's gonna be mainly refactoring, as this week I was able to figure out the bugs that happened because I refactored. And so those of you that don't know what refactor means, and an error, sure, Torin, explain away. Refactoring, you could say, cleaning up code. That's the best way I like to describe it. Going over something and hi. You haven't done that in a second. I forgot. You do that. And hi, Mr. Retector. Welcome to stream. Welcome to whatever that is, the frog. Oh boy. The best way I can describe refactoring is cleaning up code, optimizing code. So going to old code you wrote before and trying to upgrade it. That's the best way I can think of it. And well, bug fixing is fixing problems in your game, fixing things that shouldn't happen. Refactoring's cleaning up things that already work. And the issue was that I had been refactoring recently, and cleaning up code broke it, so we had to pause on refactoring to bug fix. And thankfully now, we're all good, kinda, sorta. We'll see if we run into the bug, but I know there's one bug that's been super persistent. However, that's the only one I know of at the moment, knock on wood. Hopefully there's no more. Saying that though, let's go ahead and get into the pitch, shall we? So you get there, stay all nice and comfy, and hi, peace. Welcome into stream. Welcome in. Oh, before I forget as well, here we are, and welcome in for the first time too. Hi. So I ask that you all, get your seat, get all nice and comfy. I'll be right back. All right, love gratitude. You say that now. You might not like this next part, but I'm obligated to do it. So I'll be right back. Stick right there. Oh, thank you for the follow, piece. I'm not sure why it didn't do the sounds and funny things. That is no good. Hold on. You there. I don't know why, but thank you. And refactoring's creating brand new bugs instead of old ones. Yeah. Saying that though, fancy meeting you here. You're here, I'm here, you're here, I'm here, and since you're here in this sort of lobby area, and it's a place where it's just elevators. There's no windows, there's no stairways, there's no doors. It's just the elevators. And the elevators, I'd say, are going to arrive in maybe less than a minute left. And, since you happen to have some time on your hands, clearly, and you can't leave, not that I'm keeping you here or anything, I'm just saying, you can't leave, and you know what? I can't leave either. So why don't we talk for a little bit, since you're kind of stuck here, huh? Hi. Hiya. So, as I was saying, since we're in this very business environment, why don't we get to know each other just a little bit better? There's no escape. There is always an exit, just not in this case, and I don't know the answer to the exit idea. Welcome to the elevator pitch, though. A section I like to do at the beginning of my gaming or game dev streams, where I spend a bit of time trying to pitch my game to you. Usually a minute, less than a minute, somewhere in the less than a minute mark. The idea behind the elevator pitch is it gives me a chance to get better at explaining my game in as fast or as few words as possible, while also getting people who haven't been here up to date on the game idea, as well as people who haven't been here in a second. So it all kind of gets an idea, the idea I've been going for. And I'm sure by now you're certainly wondering, what is that game? Well, that game certainly is, bam! Necrotype Cafe, a rhythm typing cafe game. So, and hey, you creep here often. I'll have you know I'm no creep. I am as trapped here as you are. Have you ever thought of that before? And I see an employee of the month poster and my picture's not on it. Unfortunately, Torin, that is reserved for Bobby, and I didn't draw this pixel art background, and Zero did from YouTube. Saying that though, if I go ahead and let's see, enable that guy there, yes, indeed. Once that timer reaches 45 seconds, I'll give my best shot at attempting to pitch the game to you. And I'm sure you'll be wholeheartedly convinced, not because you're being forced to, because you want to be. Are you ready? Welcome to Necrotype Cafe, a rhythm typing cafe game where you play as Gabriella, a necromancer who's sent to a prestigious wizard academy by her family, but she doesn't want to become a necromancer. No, she wants to become a baker, a chef, and so she decides to open up her mini cafe in the wizard school, and she serves her fellow wizard customers, her fellow wizard students who come into the game. And the idea is that not only is it a cafe sim, it is a rhythm typing game. And the idea is that instead of gathering ingredients to make your food, the idea is that you have to summon the food through spell casting, and you do this via poetry. And how you have to do the poetry is by typing it out. So you have to type to the beat, serve customers, and the idea is that over the semester, you'll be able to learn new spells, learn new foods, learn new music types, and by the end of the semester, you can show everyone you don't have to become a necromancer to be successful in life. And see, you know what? I'll give that one like a solid 8. I'd say 8 out of 10 possibly. Not my best work, definitely not my worst work. Decent. And hi cats on keyboard. Welcome in. Help! I'm stuck in an elevator. No, you're not. You're on the outside of the elevator. That's a big difference. And wouldn't doing a pitch in the elevator be easier? I bet there's at least some space to back up the lobby. I say quarter to left in the elevator. The only skip is violence. We don't do violence here. Never violence. Not ever once. Who said anything about violence? We're all peaceful here. And hi, I hope everyone's having a great day. And if you're not, please reconsider. What do you mean? But welcome in, cat outside on keyboard. I hope you've had a good one. And let's see, so what kind of shrooms shall I use? There's no shrooms here, piece. There is only magic, and not the, what is it, the psychedelic trip type of magic. Saying that though, let me get off my business outfit and let me get on my programmer one. So no longer do I don the business suit. Let me get my business associate here. We have good old classic Claude. And if for whatever reason that pitch did not wholeheartedly sell you into convincing you that somewhere down the line you should get this game, well then, I have a surprise for you. Why don't you give the prototype out a try? And more corporate talk. So nice. Where's my flamethrower? There are no also weapons here. And are the elevators even real? We don't question it. You know, let's go on to the next screen. Oh boy. So if you'd like to give the game a try, it is currently up on the edge. And this morning I was able to get out an update for bug fixes. So if I go ahead and do !game, it should be able to send over. It didn't do right. Hold on. If I do necrotype, how about that? Aha! I'd still try to get used to the bots, but if you'd like to give the game a try, and am I free? For now. Why don't we go ahead and give it a try, though? If I slide you all over here so I can see the game clearly, and we do, let's see. I need to open up my Obsidian, like so, like that. And let me make sure I also didn't miss anyone here. Elevators. I'm just trying to raise a family. John, necromancer. John's just a devoted guy. There we are. And let me make sure the audio seems to be good for Obsidian. Good. Lovely. Good. Alrighty. Saying all that, let me scroll back down. And I must confess, the pitch is working on me. Good. Even better. And why does the elevator door smell like cheap paint and cardboard? I don't make the rules here. As I said, I'm just as trapped in there as you are. You know, have you ever considered that? And I was told I had to listen to the pitch or get stabbed. Hold on now. We just went over this. There is no violence going on here. Whatever violence you've been told is a lie. Oh boy, let me go ahead and slide this guy over. The audio should now be clear to go. I've been working on this game since last August. I thought I would be able to complete it last December. However, it's been over a year since this game has been in progress. This is the second game I've ever made before, so a lot of this is still a lot of learning. I'm using this as a learning experience. Saying that though, why don't we go ahead and give it a try? And I have to remember that we keep cats on keyboard in the elevator. You can hear voices from the beyond. And let's see, the voices from Bobby's tummy say otherwise. He's a vegan. So to begin, let's start off with calibration. All you have to do is click start on here, and I hit space, and calibration is complete. And space, yeah, lots of spaces. And if we go here into levels, let's give it a try at the tutorial. And if I go ahead and click on this guy here, we are now in the tutorial. So I can go ahead and move around with my arrow keys, and it'll bring into this customer here. And we can click on E to sit the customer down. The customer will now walk on the floor correctly and not float on top of the desk. And look through their food and look through the menu and decide what they want to eat. Once they're ready, I click on E, and if I hold down space, you can see their order. And what do all these fancy symbols mean? Well, you can see it's a sweet, bitter cake, and there's pink, and there's purple, and there's an icon. So if we follow that skull guy over to the next room here, this is where you will spellcast. And if I hold down space again, you can see pink means sweet, purple means bitter, and then there's kind of this icon. So if I go up to this guy here, you can see they're sweet, and then we have bitter, and then we have cake. So if I grab all 3 ingredients here, that is enough to start our spell. So if I go ahead and hold down Q, like so, and so far so good, knock on wood, no bugs. It pops up with a tutorial. And how the tutorial works is that once the letters reach the circle here, you have to type them. If I click on this guy, once this meter fills up, the spell is complete. And it's not violence, just a friendly stab in the chest. What was it from, I forget, was it 48 or 47? I forget the exact number. And up here we have the fail meter. If this bar fills up, the game is over. So you don't want to get a lot of misses. And for that, let's see how well I can do under pressure. And that's the skull guy. It kind of looks like a ghost. Well, you know what? She is a necromancer. It wouldn't be too bad of an idea. A lot of this is subject to change though, since it is a prototype. A lot of these things are very incomplete. But I'm super excited for when we'll be able to. 67? Was it 67? Huh. You know what? That does sound right. Maybe I'm thinking 7 at least at the ladder. What was his name? Connor, I think, from Detroit Become Human. That's a reference. And thank you to Akiran, or is it Akiran? I'm guessing. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Saying that though, if I click close here, the game will start. 67 bucks now. A reference to a game. And hi, Malphabet. Welcome into stream. And after that, evil aliens attack the cafe and we grab our magic AK-47 and slaughter them all. Right? I'm starting to think you just like Mordor. Let's see. BEWARE space THE space JABBERWOCK. Yep. Okay, let's see. MY space SO N space THE space JAW S space THAT space BIT. And still not done yet. Almost there. That's some DLC shit. E comma space THE space CLAWS. And like that, our cake is complete. So if I go ahead and click on finalize, I can pick up our cake and bring it over to the customer. Hello, dear customer. Go ahead and eat your cake. And once they're ready, once they're done eating, they can go ahead and have them leave. And look at them go. Look at them walk off into the sunset. That is the game currently in a nutshell. I plan to add additional features. However, what we're currently doing is we're refactoring the game. So we're cleaning up old code, as I said before. This is a 1-year-old project, and a lot of it is dead code that I want to clean up before we get into things more. And how's the head? It's great now. I feel 100% better. Headache is now gone. Knock on wood. But all in all, I'm feeling great today. And look at them walk through the wall. There's no walking through the wall, Jack. I don't know what you're talking about. What are all these accusations here? Let me go ahead and hide this die, show this die. There we are. Let me go ahead and make sure the music is down, like so. And let me go ahead and turn up the audio here. And let me bring you back into the planning screen. Now, I can certainly say, and it's something I didn't realize, but so your cake is poisoned, the customer, is it? And after that, you'll extract his soul, right? I will have you know, my character, she is an ethical necromancer, all right? She is here because she loves she doesn't even want to be a necromancer, but it's not a bad thing in this magical world. They're like doctors and lawyers. They're the high elite. And yeah, knock on wood, just don't do it with your Oh boy. Saying that though, let's now talk about the recap. So what we've been doing, and actually, let's see, recap our roadmap first. I wasn't sure which one to put first, but and ethical evil necromancers. There's no evil guys here. The only evil ones, I guess, are the lawyer necromancers who are really evil, maybe. But I mean, all around, necromancers in this world are highly respected and just try to do honest work. Yeah. Saying that, what we'll do is I will bring you into recap. I think recap's the best way to explain it. So if I go into Godot here, and also recently Godot updated to Godot 4.5, I'm super excited. Let's see, bring it into the screen, and evil lawyer, tomato. Can you imagine though? You'd never be able to get away with murder if you had a necromancer lawyer, or I don't even remember the words, but if there was a necromancer lawyer, he could just call the victim to stand. Easy peasy. Oh boy. Saying that, here is the project. There's a lot going on screen. Neck snapping. There's no neck snapping. How could necromancers be evil? Oh, that's a terrible one. A good one, but a terrible one. If I go ahead and I hide this guy here, you can see my game is currently separated into folders. And what I've been doing over the course of these last few weeks is I've been going through each bit of code, and right now we're on kitchen. Oh, kitchen. And all of these guys here. Now, I have barely a clue what's inside of them because I have not looked at this code in a very long time. I've only glanced at it a little bit. So the hope is that today we'll be going through these files here, cleaning things up and figuring out what I did at 3 a.m. a few months ago. And we'll all get a better understanding of all the mess that's going on in here. And the hope is that by the end of this month, I will finish refactoring the game, which means come October, we'll be able to get into new features. And those are chiropractors. Oh boy, let me go ahead and bring you back into the planning screen. Oh man. I'm certainly no neck snapper, I can say that for certain. Let me go ahead and move you here, and if I go ahead and move you to, let's see, screens here, and I go ahead and hide this guy, I should be able to pull up the roadmap. And let's see, I feel the same every time I open something at work. This is ancient, although it was written the day before. Yeah, I like cleaning code. I like making code that's easy to read. The thing is, I got in such a bad habit of cleaning it every time I used it, so I never got on to actually making things because I was too busy cleaning. This time around, what I've done is I've made it first messy and as I made it functional, and now I'm trying to go back and clean it. So I'm trying a new thing. And oh, hi, Lusk. Thank you for the subscription. Welcome.
I come with an announcement.
Oh, an announcement. I'm all ears. And new features, so chainsaws and shotguns, or at least terrible flesh melting potions. None of the sort, Torin, though. Maybe flesh melting potions could be fun. Okay, it's supposed to be cute gothic because we're dealing with the necromancer. The stream is live. Discord hasn't announced it. Oh. You know, sometimes I wonder if the bot should be employed or not. You know, it's not me not announcing it, it's the bot. The bot should do the thing. One of you moderators, wait, one of you moderators mind sending out the announcement that we had this problem like a really long time ago, so I'll have to check the website to check for the bot. And hi Rodrigo, welcome, and yep, on it, thank you. And make, clean, fail, correct, repeat. Yeah, and you sound better already? Thank you. Glad you think so. I certainly feel better, 10 times better. So as you can see on here, this is the current roadmap of my game. Now, this is my second ever game. This is my second ever big project. The hope is that by doing this, by taking my time as much as I can with learning the process, I can then, when I make more games, improve on it. So there's no set due dates, as I thought this game would be done by last December. It has not been. We've reached over a year now, so I clearly don't have an idea on good timing, which is okay. That just means I remove any of the dates, and I just say these are the things I want to get done. We do differently instead, and the energetic Eris is back. Thank you, and welcome. And let's see, Frost is here, by the way. Did I say hi to Frost, or hi, Frost, if I did not, or hi again, welcome in as well. Saying that, we've already gone ahead and solved bugs. We've also added the bookshelf mechanic. So currently we are working on refactoring. And once all of the code has been clean, then you can see we will be adding tons of new features. So we'll be adding ghosts to the game. We'll be reworking the tutorial, and we'll be adding a power-up system. Now, this was an original idea for the game, a power-up system. However, I'm not sure anymore. I'm keeping it on the table as a maybe. And hi, is it Vibe have? Possibly? Welcome into stream. And hello, lady. Hi, how you doing? welcome in. And if you stream elements, to ping, the bot is not working well today. I think I used Sapphire, but I'll have to check it. Thanks for letting me know. It did also send out a message in Twitch, which it doesn't usually do, so it's interesting, but thank you for letting me know. Just call me Vi. Sure. I butcher names all the time, so I can certainly try. Oh boy. Saying that though, the power-up system is supposed to be this idea of, usually in restaurant simulator games or cafe simulator games, you get money, and with this money you can update power upgrades. For example, one game that's super inspired, or one game I take a lot of inspiration from, is the game franchise, the Papa's Games, Papa's Freezeria, things of that nature, where, for example, there was this one that's my favorite, Freezeria, where you have to make, it's not slushies, but it's like ice cream sort of thing, right? And OG Speed Airs so yesterday, Speedrun Airs so back. That was so last season. And in the game, for example, the cook time, you could upgrade the cook time something needed to be done, or you could upgrade the room that the customers would wait in to make their patience longer. So upgrades like that is what I would like to do. A suggestion that I really want to do, if I can manage it, for example, is I want to add an NPC into the game you can buy, which is a skeleton butler. So the skeleton butler will seat the customers, take their orders. That could be fun. How manageable is it? I don't know, especially since I'm still at that beginner level. However, let's just call it hopes, wishes, and dreams, and we'll see. We'll do the LaFour stuff before we even think about the power-up system. If we can manage to do all of that, though, then we'll go ahead and solve bugs again, possibly do another refactoring, we'll do a visual overhaul, an audio overhaul, and then we'll release the demo, as ultimately, I want to try releasing this game on Steam. I also want to try to get the experience of that. So this is the overall roadmap of the game. To those that are curious and wondering where I'm going with this idea, and how's your game so far? Can I have a look? Sure. Hold on. I can drag into the game, but I can also do, if I do exclamation necrotype, that should also link it. Does it? Hold on. Does it do it? It does not. Interesting. Did it do it before? Hold on. I'm so curious. Spots are always a mystery for me. If I do that, does it want to do it then? Interesting. The bot only lets me do it if I do it from both YouTube and Twitch. Interesting. Let me go ahead and bring you all into the game, though. If I go back into here, let's save. Where are we at? In you here. And does he get paid enough plus has insurance? The thing is, at least in my ideal game world, the hope is that if a creature does not want to be raised, they cannot be raised. They would either have to be persuaded, like you have to bribe them into being reanimated. But for the most part, people are willing to come back for a price. So the thing, everyone is a willing person. And a browser game, I will try it later. Sure. The hope is that, for now, since the game is in prototype testing stage, it's in the browser so that people will have a chance to test it, tell me if there's any bugs, tell me if it's any fun or not. And it's an easy way to get feedback so that the core of the game is fun before I even worry about adding extra things like flashy effects or cool art or things of that nature. So the hope is we fix the core and the minimum viable product, the MVP, and then we go from there. Saying that, though, I've been wondering how to organize all of the code. It's been recommended I use UML, which is a way to organize your functions and your classes, and I'm not quite too sure. The thing is, I know for certain, I get confused and very lost very easily. So is there a way I can make it so I don't get us confused? One thing I've been trying to do is a flowchart. However, this, I'm not also sure either. The idea is that maybe we separate the functions or the idea of the game into its different genres. Not too sure about that one. Another one is I thought, okay, maybe we separate it by folders. Again, not too sure about that one. But I'm trying to imagine if the game had a wiki page and you can search up different things about it, how would it be structured or organized? That's the approach I'm going. And I unfortunately am here for a teeny tiny time today since I have a concert to catch. Well, congrats, Frost. I hope it's a lot of fun and excited to check out the VOD for this later today. Well, I hope you have fun at your concert, and thanks for stopping by, even if for just a little bit. And hi, Scyther. Welcome into stream. Welcome in. And no folders. Let there be chaos. Oh boy, I need order, all right? And no, I'd say don't worry about any specific formal method, just anything that lets you try to explain the game to a child as quickly as possible. I also need a way to explain the game to myself. As if it's understandable by like a 5-year-old, you're doing something right. And hi Sanapa, welcome in as well. And what's the engine? The engine I'm using at the moment is Godot. And if you're talking about this guy here, this is Obsidian. And if I do exclamation FAQ, any programs you see me use, you should be able to find on that page there. So that should take care of the other answers. I'm programming in the most recent version of Godot, so Godot 4.5. And I'm programming in the Godot language, so GDScript. And I'm using Obsidian here. And then another program I often use is Concepts, where as I said before, I like treating it like a 5-year-old where ooh, shiny things, ooh, pictures, colors. If I can explain it to myself with pictures, I usually tend to understand it. And the hope is that this can eventually be organized. But for now, we're just gonna go here. How about that? Oh boy. And Scyther? Yeah, I did say hi to Scyther. Don't you worry. Check. I did see it. But thank you for reminding me again. And so complex? Yeah. And that is a scary thing. I do agree to that. The thing is, when you start a project, it's easy to do because it's new. You haven't done it before. There's not a lot. But as you go on and you build on top of your project, if you don't make it in a way that's easy to understand, you're going to get confused. You're going to get spaghetti. And you're going to get this pile of trash that you don't know how to recycle. And it becomes terrifying. And that's why we're refactoring today. We're trying to figure out how to simplify this head hurt things. And oldest 5-year-old on the planet. Oh boy. Saying that, the idea I'm going for, the idea I've been doing, is if we go back into programming here, I have separated my code by its different functions. And actually, let me move chat up to about, let's see, is it even possible if I move you all up to like here and I do, let's see, if I type in A there, you're about, let's see, there-ish? Oh, that removed it. Hold on. I was not prepared to move all of you, and it did not like the idea of me removing or moving all of you. Not removing. Big difference. Like there we are. Okay, there you are. You're up top today. Look at you. You're all the way up there. Let me also slide you over to about here-ish. There you go. That way you can see it. And I do that. Good. Okay. So I have these different folders, and the idea is that because I have a rhythm typing cafe game, that's a lot of genres, and we got removed. What do you mean? You're right there. You were simply moved, not removed. Big difference in alphabet. Saying that, since my game is separated into rhythm, it is the genre of rhythm typing cafe. There's a lot going on here. No. We have the cafe, and we have the magic, the rhythm typing portion. So my hope was that by sectioning it off into different areas, so the cafe, and then the kitchen, which is the spellcasting, maybe it would make the files easier to look at. And why is YouTube chat so empty? It varies. Recently it's been pretty active, but it seems to be Sunday's usually the least active out of everything. Sunday seems to be the least active. You know what? Sometimes it's just good to chill and vibe, but I appreciate you being here, Vi. I do indeed. So saying all of that, what I've gone through already in this past month has been, I've been going through this cafe guide and cleaning it up. And what I've been doing is I separate them by the objects in the world, things that are existing. For example, I have entities, so your customers, your player, things of that nature. We have game objects, so the dishes you have to do, icons in the game, so UI, things you have to interact with, things of that nature. Anything relating to the cafe goes in the cafe. Anything that relates to the spellcasting, so the rhythm typing, the spells, the things of that nature have gone in here. So that's what we'll be looking at today. And as I said before, I have barely a clue of what's going on in here. So we're gonna learn together what are in these folders. A lot of this code can just be deleted, and we're going to clean it and delete it as we go. We'll see what we need, we'll see what we don't need. But that is today's plan. And yeah, boss, I think I'm understanding. Good. I'm happy to hear it. Saying that, let me get some water and then we'll get into things, why don't we? And no, that's the YouTube chat experience. You'd be surprised, Check. I have seen it active, like even more active than Twitch the other day. I was so surprised. But it was a good surprise. I was really happy. Okay, water. Hold your horses. Hi, Pixeliana. Welcome into stream. Welcome in. Hold on. Let me get where are we at? I should be able to do slash and then that and then at and then there you go. Welcome into stream and Ezra. Wow, this looks intimidating. It is. As I said before, I have barely a clue what's going on. So we're going to go through this together, and this is why I'm streaming it, so that you and I are here. If we cry, we contain each other tissues. It's not too bad once you look at it. It's just bad once you look at it. And Heyo, Eris. I know nothing of code, but I'm here to just listen. Well, hi, Weebasaurus Rex. Welcome into stream as well. Welcome in. And how long have you been working on this game? Since last August. Since last August. So it's been a little bit over a year. Now, what we'll do first is we click on the kitchen guy, and we're going to just make bullet points of all of these different folders. Step 1. After that step 1, we're going to go into this little guy here, and we're just going to continuously go through each folder like this, where we start at the big guy and we slowly trickle our way down. That is the hope. And hey you, chat. Hey yo, Weebasaurus. And there are more of us now, but it offers, it offends us not to appear on the screen. What do you mean, Rodrigo? Exactly. And I did that. Good. Okay. So saying that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Obsidian here, and I should be able to pull it up on screen too if I click on that guy. It did not open up Obsidian. Hold on, cleaning up the kitchen? Or cleaning a kitchen? Yeah. We are cleaning the kitchen today. If I do this, and then I do this, look at that. Okay, that works perfectly. And it appears behind chat and me. So what we're going to do is I can go into this guy here, and it's the system I've used here. But what we're going to go and do is go down here. Just go down here. I was going to do some debug tools, but I think I'll do those off stream, since I could certainly do those on my own time. So we'll just stick to refactoring and then debug tools some other time. So all I'll do is I will call this guy our kitchen. So kitchen here. And from there, we'll just do some check marks for each part of the kitchen. So we have our audio, we have our data, we have flavors, we have manager, map, parser, rhythm, manager, we have scorekeeping. I think that's what it's saying. That's speaking. Hold on. Keeping. Like that. And it's been very well. A lot of pixel art. Good. I need to put in more pixel art ups. Your art is lovely. I do say so. And it's crowded now, full of vibe. And theoretical question, does it hurt the YouTube chat when you have a headache? No, I would never inflict pain onto others, willingly or unwillingly, check. I assure you, it does not trickle down. Let's see, we have, that's still not the right word. That should be a key. There we are, scorekeeping. We have screens, and then we have spell, UI, what is that? Spell UI assets. Oh, I see. And remember that question mark means sarcasm. Oh, okay, got ya. Okay. Oh boy, and oh, let's see. Let me make sure. Did I miss anything? I don't think so. Discrimination. There's a lot of determination here, check. Let me go ahead and click on you here where we out Obsidian. Spell screen UI. Let's see, screens, and then we have spell UI assets, like this. And now that we have this big overview, next step is to click on this guy here. So for example, audio. And we see we have a few folders here. Now the question is this currently being used in the game? Or is it code that can be deleted? And the answer to that is, let's see. So if I go ahead back into my Obsidian here, I'll go ahead and note it down. We have on here audio, and I can do enter tab, and we have sound effects. Is this good in the code, or can it be deleted? So if I go into here and go ahead and hide your Obsidian for now, and I think it makes it more unique. Oh boy, let's see. If I click on you, is this an audio sound that appears in the game? I believe that one is in the game. What about this one? I think that one appears in the game too. How about this one? Yeah, I think these are all currently in the game. So we can go ahead and check off audio. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. We're already doing great. After audio, let's see. We have data. And if I go ahead and open up our data guy here, there's a few things going on. And I believe this was the new guy we were working on the other week. So we have customer data, flavor data, and these all seem to be JSONs. And I'm just gonna take a guess and say these guys are fine. We don't need to look into them since they're handled somewhere else. So I would say data can also be checked off the list. We're already zooming past, unless this is the 5% of 100%. So we can go ahead and also mark data off of the list. So I'll go ahead back to Obsidian here, and I'll mark off data, like that. Next up on the list, we have flavors. And if we open up the sky, what are we seeing? Okay, some code. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. We have flavor, and then we have flavor description box and scene. Interesting. Alrighty then. So for our flavor, it is a resource, I believe. No, it's a class, because this is class named flavor. Alrighty. If this code is easy to understand, then we don't need to clean it. But let's see. Let's go through it and see if there are some things. So we have aspect of flavor combo. Makes sense. The idea in my game is that you mix two flavors together to get a flavor combo. This is the half of the whole, so to speak. If we're looking here, these are the different flavor types. We have bitter, sweet, memory, and then there are music jam winners, as I think it was last month now, maybe, where I held a music jam for my game, since it is a rhythm game. It's gotta have music in it. And there were 3 winners, I don't believe, hold on. If I go into, let's see, Rhythm Manager scorekeeping, I should have the names here somewhere, as it's such a delight to see people take part in events you host. So anytime I can remember to shout them out, I'd like to. But if I can't find it, no, I did, lovely, lovely. And excuse me, what is easy to understand? If you have any questions, why, I will do my best to answer. And hi, Mnemonic, welcome into stream, welcome in. If I go ahead and slide this guy over, oh, that's really big, huge even. These were the winners. I just wanted to shout them out again. And these will be, these wizard classes, these flavors will officially be in the game. So we have Rhymemancer by Sanapa, we have Herbalmancer by Colonel, and we also have Chillmancer by Rodrigo. And that's where these flavors come from. However, smoky, salty, and floral, these aren't in the game yet, so we don't have to worry about them. Let me go ahead and close this guy here. You agent of chaos. I am no agent, I tell you, Mnemonic. If anything, I think you are an agent of chaos and yeah. So these are enums. As we look on, what else do we see? And everything on your screens are my questions. I see. That's never good. I'll do my best to explain as much as I can. Saying that, we have some variables of this flavor guy. We have the type of flavor it is, the wizard it's connected to. We have the description, attribute, and color. That does make sense. What I'll do is I will grab this guy here and we'll write this down as I think it's important. So if I go into here and I go into, let's see concepts here, let's rewrite this out a little bit. If I do you here and you here, okay. So this is what makes up a flavor. And if I go ahead and grab my pen, grab my glove too, and yeah, she's the princess of chaos and not a mere agent. Hold on now. Hold on. That's not true. That's not true one bit, I say. Let me go ahead and grab this guy here. So flavor, F-L-A-F-L-A-V-O-R, flavor. And our flavor is comprised of a few things here. A type, a wizard, a description, attribute, and color. And let's see. If I bring you back into the game, I believe I should be able to show you what this means and show myself too. If we go back into Godot for a quick second here, there's this thing called the flavor description box. And if you hook it up, it tells you the information. So that's why these guys are here. Because in my game, you can kind of think of it a little bit like maybe a roguelike deck, or Pokemon even, for example, where you have a Pokédex and it has the information of your Pokemon. That's why I have all this information on the flavor. By the end of the game, or by when the game's completed, I hope to have an area you can read which goes into detail about the different aspects of each type of flavor and each type of wizard. That is the hope. And did you make a spreadsheet for it? Yep. This part is not the spreadsheet. This is the extra bits. This is, I guess you would call that a spreadsheet. Hold on. If I go back into this guy here, and I go into new U here, and I grab, let's see, base, U, CV, documentation, flavor chart. Is this what I'm looking for? This guy here. Yeah. Let's see. And I go into U here. Would this classify as a spreadsheet? When I think spreadsheet, I think more so like this. But technically, all of these are spreadsheets. Yeah. And you can see here the type of flavor it is, the wizard it's connected to, the description of the flavor, the attribute of the flavor, and the color of the flavor. And let me go back into here. And wait, I want to try the game first. Sure, Vi. You should be able to if I do necrotype. That should work. You should be able to get the link of the game and try it out on itch. If I go back into concepts here, and I go ahead and grab you, let's see, you here. Yep. And I grab you here. So in our game, it's made up of different wizards, and the idea behind it is that each wizard represents a different flavor in our world. So we have our necromancer here. We'll just make a little face, and then a wizard robe. Little wizard guy. There you are. And wait, I need to get my laptop first. No worries. I'll be here when you're back. So, and for our necromancer, so let's be the wizard types. Let's see, wizard, W-I-C-A-R-D-R-D. Wizard is our necromancer. Necromancer. The wizard is the necromancer. And if I scroll out a little bit to make it a little bit easier to see, the flavor is bitter. Let's see. So type T-Y-P-E, T-Y-P-E, type equals bitter. B-I-T-T-E-R, bitter. And as you progress in the game, and such a mighty hat wizard ratio, it's important. You gotta have the big floppy hat. So if you don't have a big floppy hat, are you even a true wizard truly? It's important to the idea, and associated with it is also the description. So these are just words. They're not data that has to be taken into account. And then we also have the color. So let's see. Let's see. Color. C-O-L-O-R. Color. And in this case, it is a purple. P-U-R-P-U-R-P-L-E. Like that. And as you go on the game, the hope is that you'll unlock new flavors as new wizards come into your class. For example, we have pyromancers that will come into the game and their flavor is spicy. And the hope is that you get these new wizards, these new flavors, these new colors, and each wizard is, what is the word I'm looking for? Each wizard has a color, and that's what the flavor color is, and also their robe. So the hope is that we'll be able to associate flavor, color, and also wizard all three together. So when the wizard walks into the room, so if it's a necromancer that walks into the cafe, you know for certain they're gonna want something bitter. Now, if different combinations could be bitter something, it could also be bitter, but you at least know they're going to order something bitter. So the hope is that we can combine these, what do we call it, types, attributes together in order to make an idea of, okay, I know this, so it is this. And how late in the game will the jam wizards appear? I haven't quite decided yet. The thing is, or do you mean like game-wise as in story? Or game-wise as in programming? Exactly, Chuck. Could you elaborate just a little bit? Saying that, I think we're good to go. Yeah. I will add on the me from my laptop. I see. Well, welcome back, Vi. Welcome back in. So flavor's good to go. And let's go ahead and write this out. It should make it a little bit easier to look at too. We go back into here. And let's see. And hi, is it Syntax Smith? Welcome into stream. I can try again if you'd like, but welcome in. And what language of coding are you using? I am using GDScript, the native language to Godot. And I've done C++, which is, I think, C# is the one that's also compatible with Godot, but I would compare GDScript, the one I'm using, to Python, because it's been compared to Python. So, short answer, GDScript. Saying that, let's go into, let's see, project. And just as how I've sorted all of the classes, the folders in my game into those 3 folders, I've mirrored it here in Obsidian. And in-game probably should be around mid-game, to be honest. Yeah, the hope is that maybe once every 5 levels, there's a new wizard. And I hope to have 10 wizards in total. And as you go on, so maybe a semester is 50 levels. We'll have to see. And she's always so excited. I am indeed. If I'm in good health, then I am super excited. Oh no, I'm gonna go play now. See you soon. Sure. I hope you have a lot of fun. I hope it's not too hard. Let's see. Saying that, if we open up our kitchen, you can see flavors. Oh, we already have flavors. And it says aspect of flavor combo. If you click on flavor combo, a list of current flavor combinations. I can keep that for later. All I want to do is I want to go to flavors here, and I want to write a description from what we know, what we looked at with our concepts. So I believe, let's see, how would you describe it, you think? We go back into our guy here. Describing flavor in a sentence. What do you think you would describe it as? It's not, well, it's an aspect of flavor combo, but I think it's better to say flavor combo is, when you mix 2 flavors together, you get a flavor combo. But I don't think we should call it an aspect of a flavor combo. And what do you mean too hard? I'm scared now. Don't be scared. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Oh boy. And I'm personally still learning C#. Interesting. I would love to learn JavaScript at some point, as I'd love to learn web development. I feel like that could be a lot of fun. Let me go ahead and hide Obsidian here for just a moment. And I think instead of this, we could call it, yeah, how do you think you would describe flavor? Knowing about the type, the wizard description, we don't even have to give it a description right now or describe it in a sentence, because we can always come back to it later. Just off the top of your mind, I don't think aspects of flavor combo is a good idea. I'm thinking it is the best way I could compare it to is like a Pokemon type. A type of, And what words come to mind are like aspect. I'm also thinking that's not how you spell aspect. There's also the fact it could be labeled as a type. And any other words, let's see. And JavaScript's also fun, I agree. Oh, that's good, that's good. I've heard both good and bad things about it, so I'm happy to hear that. Let's see, aspect type. Another guy could be, aspect type. We could say, let's see. Because the thing is, flavors are a core part of the game. Without flavors, without being able to combine them, there is no game. That's why I don't feel comfortable saying flavors a part of something else when it is the thing. And ads already, my goodness. Okay, hold on. Let's say aspect type. I'm thinking and I'm thunking. For now, maybe we just sort of describe it. We can always come back to it later, as this is the most important bit here. And I believe if we look at it, initializing, we set the wizard, the type, all of these to their blank status, and then we go ahead and there's a print function here to print everything. That makes sense so far. We have a function for setting the type. That looks good. I can understand what's going on. We have a function for setting the wizard. So we're checking here to see if it has the type. Let's see. If customer has string, else, slap that there to make sure that we know something, we couldn't add it. Let's see. If customer profile type has string, else, we'll go ahead and print, hey, no go, could not set wizard type. Let's see. Could not, or rather, let's do big angry letters. Error could not set wizard type of flavor. That's not how you spell it. Flavor. And then we'll also set this as an error color, which I think I have as red. So if I do utility dot debug, nope, that is okay, let's see. Utility dot debug and debug color, and I just do dot error, it should make it red if it happens to be the case that there is an error. And we'll go ahead and let's see. I think this is as simple as it can get, so I'll just go ahead and copy all of these guys over. So if you, else, we just send an error and it's a different error message, like that. And hi Paula, welcome to stream. Show the wizard type in the error message. Oh, that's a great idea, Paula. Yeah, we can certainly add that. So let's see, error could not, well, we don't know the wizard type because the wizard type isn't known. Wizard type of, could not set the wizard type of flavor. How about what we say is, wizard type was, yeah, I think that's good. Wizard type, W-I, wizard type, and then we can go ahead and say plus this here and then string.
Smith,
and
please subscribe on
thank you for the
YouTube.
subscription, Syntax Smith. Thank you. And hi, is it Kaio? Possibly. Kaio Gutenberg? Possibly. Welcome into stream. Hi. I can certainly try again if you'd like, but welcome in. Let's see. Something like that. And then we can also say flavor type. I think that can work. Flavor type. Let's see. And then we'll print out the flavor type. I think that can work. And we'll go ahead and just grab this guy here for the flavor type. So something like that. There we are. And we'll say notify. There we are. So if we get an error, it should be able to do that there. And then we can go ahead and I think make this a function and just have the error of whatever these guys are. I think that'll work. Either make this a function, all of these guys, and add a way to say in between the words or something. We'll see. Saying that though, we'll go ahead and have the ads do their thing, or it's gonna get angry at me, so we'll let them go. And coding's so fun, even by watching it. Good. I'm glad to hear it. And is that GDScript? Yep. It is indeed a GDScript. Well, welcome in. Let me go ahead and get some water. And let's see. I enjoy programming. I went to college for it, for game development. I learned C++. I ended up dropping out, but it wasn't because it wasn't fun. It was because I didn't get to use a game engine. I used Visual Studio, which isn't a game engine. It's more of a, I know it's not a game engine. That was a really important bit. I wanted to do something like Unity or Unreal, but it was just Visual Studio, which is something completely different. IDE? Yeah, IDE. Thank you. Yeah, it was an IDE. Let me Google. Let's see. What is an IDE? What does it stand for? An integrated development environment. Yeah. And it was used, that program is more so used for things that aren't specifically game development. They can be used for game development, but I wanted to learn a program that was specifically made for making games, hence wanting to do game engines. And I was just drawn to Godot because it was so colorful. And then there's my story. Out of all the other ones, Godot was colorful and it's also open source, which just means it's overall all free. And anything that's usually open source is usually a little bit nicer because if you know what you're doing, if you really know how to program, you can do anything you want to the program. You can modify it to your heart's content since the code for this game, the code for this program is open. You can edit it to your heart's content. So for example, if you know how to mod things, you could mod this to whatever you want. And since, yeah, I'm glad it does. Let me get some water. Okay, water all good. Let me get a little bit of juice. And then if we still have time, we'll do some stretches and then we'll get back into things. I've been doing my best to do some stretches in between the ad breaks because it's important to make sure your body's still moving a little bit from time to time. So let me get some of this and let's see. Okay, I'm all good and refreshing. Welcome back, Vi. Welcome in. And would you want to use Godot script editor instead of Visual Studio? Do you mean would I rather want to use this guy here instead of the... Can you elaborate a little bit, Kaio? And 30 seconds left. Let's do some neck stretches. What we'll do is we'll go to the right a little bit. Then we'll go to the left a little bit. And then we'll go to the front a little bit. Yeah. I like how colorful it is. And the thing is, you could change the color. You could customize the look, like set the theme of Visual Studio. But I like the default look of Godot. That's what drew me to it. I like also the programming language of GDScript. I know I have a background in C++, but I prefer the way things are written in GDScript. It's a lot simpler. It reads a lot more in English. For example, and I don't remember. It's been so long. It's been very, very long. But a for loop in GDScript, if you know other languages, a for loop in this guy, if you're trying to loop through an array, you could say, and if I just do, let's see, a var here, and we call it var array, and I call it an array, and it is an array of ints, and then we'll say it is equal to, and then we'll do this, and then we'll say 1, 2, 3, something like that. And thank you for the follow, Fruity. welcome to the stream, and thank you, and welcome in. It's wild. It's not doing the whole announcement sounds. That's a shame, but welcome in all the same. And I'm going through severe skill issue realization now. I told you. Right now, I'm trying to figure out what is considered hard. I don't want my game to be hard, like OSU, rhythm game difficulty, but I also don't want it to be a granny's game of typing. I want to go for moderate, something that all around can be played, so... it takes a little bit getting used to, but overall, the feedback's been okay, aside from the difficulty. What you can do in GDScript is you could say for number in array, like that. And I think that reads super clear. But if you were in C++, you would have to do something like for I in 0 to 10 plus something plus, and it doesn't read as clearly as this. This is probably my favorite part about Godot. One of my favorites. And can you present us to your game? Sure. And if you'd like to give a try for yourself, what I can do as well is do necrotype. There you go, like that. And remember, folks, take a break, save, stretch, hydrate, and eat if you haven't in a while. Very true. And welcome in, blood. Is it Krustnik, possibly? Welcome into stream as well. And yep, the help is that every hour. So during the ad breaks, we take a good old drink break and stretch break. But I can certainly show the game. Currently, it is out on, out on itch. And it's so complicated. Complicated doesn't have to be bad, but I like it when it can be as simple as possible. Let me grab you here, and grab you here. I'm currently making a rhythm typing cafe game. And what we're doing is we're looking through the files, going through each, seeing what they are, and cleaning up the code. I've been working on this game for over a year now. If I go into levels here, I can quickly show you the idea behind the game. And actually, let me go into you here, you tutorial. Yeah, let me go ahead and unmute this guy so it can be heard. But I also just realized that the audio's probably been a little bit double. There we are. Good. And this is easier than previous versions. Yeah, the thing is, because I get feedback, I can grow on the feedback and make it easier. So the idea behind the game is you play as this little gal here. She is a necromancer, and her hope is that you are in this wizard academy to become a better necromancer, but you're looking to become a baker, a chef. So you make your own hidden cafe, and there are wizard customers, wizard students that are your fellow peers, and they're gonna want to order food. You can ignore the speed, that is testing version, but they'll look through the menu, and then they'll decide on a food to order. And I like to play her character. Thank you. She's gonna get a new look to her, but this is her current look, and I'm glad you like it. Once the customer is ready to order, once they've thought through their order, you can click on E here, and if I hold down space, it opens up a spellbook. And we were just talking about this, but this is the core system of the game. There are different components that make up a food. So instead of needing ingredients for a game, you need components. And the art of it's awesome. Thank you indeed. It's always so wild because it's like most of this is prototype, but I'm glad to hear it. I truly am. It's a lot of just test stuff. An awesome idea. Thank you too. So you can see here there are three things. We need a flavor, and a product. We were just looking at flavor, and the hope is that as you progress through the game, you'll unlock more flavors, you'll unlock more products. Each wizard is associated with a flavor. In our case, we are a necromancer. Our flavor is bitter, and our color is purple. That's why it says bitter here. What's also going to be in the game, for example, is going to be a pyromancer. Their color is going to be red, and their flavor is going to be spicy. And as you unlock more wizards in the game, you'll unlock more flavors. And throughout the game, you'll have to combine these flavors to create different food types. And do you use A-Sprite for art? I do indeed. And hi TV, welcome to stream, welcome in. And yep, A-Sprite is used. Every week, I learn more pixel art. So every week we do pixel art studies because I'm doing my best to learn pixel art, learn A-Sprite, so I can get better at making art for my games as well. Saying that, what I can go ahead and do is, if we go into this cabinet here, you can see sweet and bitter. So if I go ahead and grab the sweet guy here, put him down, I grab a bitter guy here, I put him down, and I grab a product here, so our cake, put him down, we can now make our spell. So if I go ahead and hold down Q here, and then you should check out her website. we can let's check, I see ya. I should be able to do exclamation WEBSITE. If the bot decides to do its thing, does it do it? It does! Lovely! So, once the letters reach this white dot here, we have to type them. Once this meter fills up, the spell is complete. And if this meter fills up, then the game is over. That is your fail meter. You don't want that to fill up your tongue tie. And so that's where the rhythm part. Yep. Rhythm typing cafe game. So you have to type out a poem to the beat. The poem is the spell casting portion. So once I click on close here, let's give it a try, shall we? So if I click close, let's see. WITH space T H R E A D S space O F space T W I L I G H T space A N D space G O A T S K I N I O L E N T space. Yep. Let's see. SOCKS comma, and our spell is complete. So we can go ahead and grab our cake and serve it to the customer. As you can see, clearly the spell is perfect and it was completely done. Once the customer is eaten, they'll be ready to leave and they're gone. And farewell, sure. And I've got to go by, and no worries, Syntax, thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next live, sure. And pun was not intended this time, but it checks out that one you suspect. Wait a second. Now that you mention it's terrible. Oh boy, and this system's nice, but it can be played only on PC. Because it's a rhythm typing game, the intention is to be PC, just because of the keyboard idea. I have heard people say you could hook up a keyboard to, for example, a PlayStation or an Xbox. I don't know anything about that. I wanted to make a small game for my second ever game, and it's already proven to be bigger than I thought. Making a rhythm game as one of your first games is not ideal. I would not do it again. However, I'm glad I did it because I'm enjoying the process so far. Let me go ahead, and I should be able to now mute this guy from the browser, which is super neat. I can go ahead and play the music here, but for now, only going to focus on PC. And once the game is complete, then I'm going to see about adding extra ideas. but I want to make sure the core concept of what I want it to get out is out, and then I can update it to my heart's content should I choose to in the future. We have what we were talking about before were the flavors, so I go ahead and close this guy here. We can see flavor, and what we were talking about was a debug message for if the flavors aren't able to do their thing, and it was the question of either doing something like this, or what we could also say is a function, just a really quick guy here, function, and we'll call it print, let's see, debug message, like that. Let's see, print debug message, yeah, something like that. And let's say if the keyboard doesn't work, what do you throw an error? If the keyboard doesn't work, you shouldn't be able to play the game. It is hopefully the thing, because the hope is that you should be able to navigate the game via keyboard. So anytime you interact with a UI, you should be able to do it via keyboard. You should never have to use the mouse, but the mouse will be possible to use. And thank you for the follow, Blood Crust Nick. For some reason, the notifications aren't working, but I certainly saw that one. Don't you worry. And hi, Kilo. Hello. Welcome in. And your enthusiasm is infectious. And it made me start learning Godot too after thinking about it for months and months. Lovely. Thanks for giving the push and keep up the good work. Thank you for the 300 bits. It's even more of a shame now that the audio didn't do the audio thing. Hold on. I'm just gonna double check here. If I click you here and I go into let's see notifications here. Yeah, you need to think about your ideas in mind. Why are you? I don't hear the audio, and it's not even popping up, which is such a shame. But again, thank you. Names Saratsus, is that how you say it? Thank you for the bits again, and welcome in for the follow, Blood Crust Nick. And what is it, Valley Bear or Vi? What is it, Vi? Something wrong? What I'll go ahead and do is say print debug message. And let's see, a fun question I like to ask streamers when I first meet them. What's your favorite mythological creature from your culture? Don't make me choose. That is one I'd have to think about. I'm a big fan of Greek mythology, so a lot of the Greek creatures, but I guess right off the bat, like possibly Cerberus. Cerberus is pretty neat. And a parent demo started for demonstration. It makes so much sense now. Apparently demo stands for demonstration. Oh. Sometimes it takes a bit, Jack, don't you worry. Cerberus is my initial answer, Blood Crust Nick. I'd have to think on it a little bit more, but that's the one I'm gonna go with for now. Once we do another ad break, I'll think on it a little bit more. So we'll do MESSAGE, and then we'll go ahead and say the name, like that. Name, or yeah, I think that'll work. Message name here, and we don't know what the name is. So, oh, wait, we can't call it a name. We'll say variable, like that. And our message is going to be a string. And what I'm thinking is we do it like this so we don't have to copy and paste it everywhere. And Chupacabra, oh, Delahan, Delahan's good. And Church Grim, never heard of Church Grim. I've heard of Delahan though. And well. Hi, Sharky, welcome in District. Welcome in. Let me slide this up here so I can see, and I think we should be good to go. Lovely. Let me slide this guy down, and hi. Welcome in. There we are. Lovely. Okay. So I'm thinking of doing it this way. That way we don't have to read out the message for all of them. And are you sure that tutorial level is supposed to be this difficult? The difficulty lies in the song. Right now, there's only one song, one map in the game. I'm hoping to add more. This is the prototype one, and I know I'm gonna have to change it because the hope is that the prototype should be easy to understand. It should be easy and simple enough to give you a taste and idea of what the game should be. So the hope is that sometimes next month, I'll be able to add a different song that should be easier to do. Is the fingers crossed hope. Saying that, let's see, void. And then from here, what I'm thinking is we can go ahead and print all of these guys here and move this guy back. And instead, what we can say is we'll print out this message here like that. And then we'll go ahead and say the variable. And then we'll go ahead and do here. And it's going to be space type like this. And then we're going to say type. And then do, hold on, let's see, variable. And then do plus. There we go. Variable, and you have to also be string. There we go. Strong. STRING. There we are. Variable plus type. Nope, that's not right. Hold on. Like that, right? Hold on. Like that. And then remove that. Yeah. Okay. Print wizard type. And then plus string. Let's see. Now, where are we? But the idea is that we'll use this guy, and then we can paste it instead of doing all three everywhere else. And maybe it could be the same poem/spell, but a slower song. Yeah. The thing is, right now, there's also placeholders for them. If I go into, and I believe it's spells, there's tons of spells currently. They're all placeholders, so there are a lot of random words, mostly from Dr. Sis. If I do, let's see, Jason, the hope is that it'll be a different map that'll be slower. And if I do flavor, spell data, yeah, you can see a sweet magical smoke is twice beauty, 1, 2, E by day. These will all be changed, but right now they're just fillers. Spells are good to go. Just gonna need to change the rate and the speed of the song itself. And hold on, like that, hold on, like that. The mental freeze is real. Sometimes I gotta slosh the mind around a little bit here and there. And Church Grim, otherwise known, oh, Black Dog. I have heard of the Black Dog. They do have a sad backstory, their creation. It's just, you know what? I do like, maybe they're called, I don't believe they're the Kelpies. What's that one mythical creature, the horse, the undead horse that lives in the water and pulls people down to the bottom as soon as they ride the horse because it's so pretty? I don't think it's the Kelpie, but that's one of my favorite ones. And I can't even finish the tutorial. Hopefully, there will be an update in the future that'll make it a little bit easier. It's the hope. I'm really hoping because, again, I don't want the game to be really difficult. I want... Oh, it is the Kelpie? Lovely! Yeah, Kelpie's another one of my favorites. I think they're neat. They're scary, but they're neat. And yeah, hopefully, but we'll see. Wizard type. Let's see. Yeah, so we have wizard type and flavor type. I see. Okay, so we need to really grab you and move you here, like that. And then if we make this our error message, we should be able to modify these. And I was about to say Kelpie. I can never remember names, but I'm glad I got it right. And my favorite's called Baba Yaga. Ooh, Baba Yaga's a good one too. It's a lot of the old ones that are just such classics. Now, if we do an error, all we have to do is do this guy. We just have to say error, and then we do this guy here. So that would be our first message. And then what we're going to do is set this to string, and it's going to be color. So we should be able to say color, new color. That should be good to go. And that is remove, like that. And now, anytime we run this function, it'll run these guys, so it should be easier to read. And she does have an interesting cottage. Isn't I'm gonna try again? Sure. As I said before, I do hope to sometime update it soon, but I do appreciate you for trying it again. Let's see, print debug message. And for this one here, we're going to say error attribute or error. It's less not an error, more so of a warning. Okay, for this one, I don't think it needs an error because the string is just set to empty if it isn't set. So it is setting it. It's just, yeah, you know what? Let's not even check. Let's just do attribute equals string. I think that's okay. We'll know it's an issue if it is empty. I think that's good enough. So we'll go ahead and remove this guy here, move this guy here, and that should make this just a little bit clearer on the code, a little bit easier to understand what's the hope we're going for. And then from here, all we need to do is just remove all of this guy here, or actually, hold on, let me get that error. And then from here, we'll go ahead and grab you. So error, oh, we already have that there. And this will be, could not set wizard or color type of flavor. And this one will be error could not set wizard type of flavor. And then let's see, error could not set wizard type of flavor. Yep. String, new color. And for you, it's going to be wizard type of flavor. And then it's going to be our string. So I'll go ahead and I'll just do string. S-T-R-I-N-G. Hold on. I-N-G. Like that. And now it gets rid of all those three guys. And I definitely think the code reads a little bit easier. So thank you to the suggestion from, I think I remember the name, but I don't remember it. I remember, but I don't remember. I believe it was, nope, the name has lost me. I think it started with an S. Pala. No, I was way off. Thank you to Pala for the error message suggestion. As yeah, the more error messages we can add, the better. Because if we run into an exception, these guys should let us know where we're heading, which is really nice to hear. Okay, I think all in all, our flavor's good to go. We would just need to add the words or the description of it. So I'll call this guy a yesent on the fixing, and we can continue now to our flavor box. And all this guy is supposed to do is it's just supposed to show us the values of each flavor. And I believe if we go into our spell casting screen, so let's see, our maybe it's test screen. Let's see. Typing test key listener, all of you guys. I don't remember what screen you were called. Maybe if I type in screen, it should show up. Let's see, spellcasting screen. Oh, spellcasting testing. There we are, spell testing screen. This guy right here. We should be able to see that there is, let's see, spellcasting screen options menu. I was hoping we would have a spellcasting type or, that's okay. All we have to do then is go in our cafe because I want to make sure this guy is good to go. I should be able to, if I drag and drop into the scene here, this guy right here, and I go ahead and do you here, and if I modify you, how can we do this? I want to modify it so it'll automatically load itself. And nice background, thank you. This guy, or the main menu at least, was a shader. Hold on. Yeah, the shader itself. But thank you, and I give up? No worries, Vi. Hopefully in the future, I'll be able to come out with an update that should make things a little bit easier to add. That way, the difficulty's not hard right off the bat. It can slowly move you in. And this whole genre's not for me. That's also okay, too. I learned very quickly that, like, for example, Hollow Knight was just not the type of game for me. But I'm glad you know that about yourself. That's really good. And hi, is it Brampus? Brampace, possibly. I probably butchered it, but I can try again. But welcome to stream. Welcome in. Okay, so instead of adding it to our cafe, which I thought would be a good idea, I should just be able to check it from here. Our flavor description guy. I want to be able to check it and make sure it does do what it's supposed to do. And for that, we should just have a way to set the current flavor. And I want to select it here. That way, when I click play in my game and play the scene, if I do that, it should tell us that it's a little wonky when it's up there, but I want it to tell us what's going on. The difficulty, class, name, description, all of those guys. So let's see if we can get it working. If we go back into here in our flavor guy, we have update by flavor. What I'm going to go ahead and do is in our function called ready, let's do update by flavor. And I want to do the flavor of, let's see, flavor parser, I think is the one I'm looking for. Flavor parser, and that's a class in my game. And let's see, flavor parser dot flavor flavor, and let's see, flavor to wizard, flavor to combo, flavor grid. Nope, I think I'm looking for type to flavor, and then I'm going to do flavor dot type, and then we're going to do, let's see if bitter works. So bitter. Let's see if it prints out the information of bitter. And blasphemous is easier than your game. I've been told someone who's gotten nightmares for my games. And let's see, which language are you using? I'm using GDScript, so the native language to Godot. And what does the write void operator do? Does it just like set the return value to the function? What, from my understanding, when you do functions, you can have different return guys. For example, here, this string, this function returns a string. What the void is saying is that I don't return anything. You don't have to do void. You could do this, but because I like implicit, I think it's called, where you say what it is, you don't let the engine guess it. I do this to make sure and say, hey, this thing is not going to return anything. Because I could even do this for string where I don't add it. I could do this, but I add the arrow at the top to know what it's supposed to do. And void equals nothing. Yep. And if it says int, it'll turn a number. Yep. And hi, Shard. Welcome into stream. Welcome in. I haven't seen that name in quite a second. Saying that, though, let me go ahead and save. I'm curious to see if this is going to work. Oh, I'm not sure because we're not loading it up from the main guy. So let's see, shall we? Oh, all right, it was right. Good. That's always nice when you can test your knowledge. I'll go ahead and click on here, run current scene, and let's see. Void is nothing. Yep, it also says void automatically upon autocomplete. You can skip it writing yourself. You can skip it, but I like doing it implicitly or implying it. And how's Godot different from Unity and GameMaker? I would not be able to tell you. I only know of Godot. Godot's the first ever engine I've used and the only one. I'd love to at some point participate in a game jam and try other engines.
J Savage J
that
is
notification is
subscribed
working.
on YouTube.
How odd. Let me go ahead and grab that name. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, where are we at with notifications? This guy here. And the name is J Savage JS. Thank you for the subscription on YouTube and welcome to stream. Welcome in. You can see though, right? NA flavor though is sweet. Interesting. So even if the code is wrong, or I'm wrong, I don't like this. Let's see why. This is so far so right difficulty, or I'm guessing maybe because these guys aren't set yet. I want to try it in one other spot. And hi. Welcome into stream. If it sets to return a string, does it prevent you from returning any other type of from that function? Yep, I believe it does. And why don't we check? And let's see, been doing my own thing. Game's looking great so far. Oh, I'm really happy to hear it. And it'll give an error if the return isn't the specified type. I'm curious to see if it'll do it right off the bat. For example, if I do remove this, because it's gonna want me to return something, I believe. Yeah, because I said it should return something. If I do, for example, var tests, let's see, int, and we set an int, and we equal it to 0, and then I say return test int, I think it's going to say, I'm not happy. Yeah, it has to be a string, and you have to return something if you imply it. If I were to do remove the string, it doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want. But I like adding this because it makes it clear when I'm looking at functions what it's supposed to do. So I go ahead and remove this here. Alrighty, yeah, cannot return the value of int. Yep, thank you for the question. Saying that, what we'll do is we will drag and drop this description block box into the game to see if that's the reason why. If we load up the scene individually by itself, maybe it doesn't have all the information to do what it needs to. So if I open up our main menu screen and we drag and drop this guy into the main menu, it's gonna be happy then. That's what I wanna know. So we'll grab our main menu, we'll grab our box, we'll make our box a little bit smaller. So I'll grab scale, let's see. We'll make it smaller, just put you here, or maybe, we'll put you there. Perfect. And I'll click on play. Let's see. And Game Maker's only for 2D. Interesting. And thank you. Was it Natalie and Sky? Thank you for the follow on Twitch. And welcome into stream. Welcome in. And a Game Maker's only for 2D. I have heard of Game Maker before too. I don't know too much about it. And it seems to be the case. This guy's still angry. Let's test it in one more area in the cafe. If it's still angry, then this guy is not giving us the right information. Remember, we're looking for it to say flavor bitter, because that's the flavor it should be associated with. It should not be sweet, because sweet is supposed to be the pink one. And anyways, I will have to take my leave. No worries. And I'll see you someday, probably. Well, thanks for stopping by. Bye. And I hope you have a lovely one. Should we meet again or should we not? I hope you have a good one. Yeah. And hope you have a great day. Hope you do too. So let's see. If I click play again, will this go over our screen and say what we are looking for? And, hold on. Why can't I see it? I should be able to see it. It should be on my screen. It's because it's not here. If I go into my game now. Yeah, that's why. Hold on. Okay, we'll make you smaller. Like that small. And then we'll bring you over everything else so I can see. And I drag you above, or you should be. What if I do overlay? How about that? If we do ordering Z index and make you like 5. There we are. Okay. And from there, if I just drag, oh, nope, we don't want the cafe background. We just want the box. If I just drag our box into the center of the screen, we should be able to see it. Yep. And it seems that this guy is incorrect. And so the Z index, yep. Difficulty, NA, class, necromancer, flavor, sweet. So some of these things are right. For example, our necromancer is purple. It does say necromancer, but the flavor sweet and the description is correct as well. Gothic cool people. So, something's off here. Let's take a look at the code. I go ahead and close this guy for now. I'll go ahead and save him so that we can look at it as reference. And from there, what we'll do is we'll go back into our scene here and we'll take a look. And thank you, Disco, for the subscription. And
the underscore disco underscore option just subscribe.
Thank you for the
Violet one
subscription.
vice pin stir the pot take party yard dumpy madam 85 dance Alex Cox
Wait, what?
shake Eris's angry Bobby shake.
Hold on. Oh, okay. The new chat system I have, it doesn't show me the emotes. So I got super confused with all the words. I went to Twitch though to see. That's a lot of emotes. Thank you. And welcome in. Oh boy. So let's see here. Our difficulty, our class, our name, all of these guys. What I want to do is see if it is a core problem that's angry. Because we have everything set here. Let's first start off by once the game loads, we'll have it print whatever is the flavor of bitter. So let's do that first. And we're going bit by bit, we're going deeper in. So we're starting at the top layer, seeing if the information given to this class is correct. Because if this box is getting the wrong information, no wonder why it's not working. But if it is getting the right information, and it's not understanding it correctly, then it's a you problem. It's not thinking correctly. So we need to see, is it being given the wrong answers, or is it making the wrong answers? That's what we're about to check. So if I go into, let's see, you here, and we grab you, we should be able to print out the flavor. By going back into, let's see our main menu, we go into here. So once the game loads up in our ready function, we should be able to print out the attributes of this guy. So if I do dot, and then I do print data, we should be able to read the data. Let's see if this says what we expect it to say. So if I go ahead and click play again, let's see, shall we? Let's see. Okie dokie. So, sweet, Necromancer, got the cool people NA. Interesting. Okay. I am curious to see. Let's try printing this in the cafe. If it still doesn't work, then that means the core data itself is not good. Which is okay. That's why we're here. Something's broken along the line when it's interpreting things, which is interesting to say the least. Let's see. Go into here, paste you here. Let's load up the game again and see what happens, shall we? Let's see. Click on play again, go to levels, go to you here, and yep, sweet Necromancer. It's also saying Necromancer down here, which is also interesting. Okay, yeah. This guy says Necromancer, this guy says Necromancer. Someone's getting confused somewhere. So, let's take a look. Yeah, alrighty. If I go ahead and remove you here, it's something to do with our flavor parser, which I believe is also in kitchen. So it's another part of the code. And it's interesting because the other parts of the code are working. The game is functional, but in the background, things are getting really confused, which is interesting. I believe if we go into managers here, these are going to be our parsers. Right now, they're called, well, some of them are parsers, some of them are managers. We can fix that later. What I'm looking for at the moment, oh, right there, flavor parser. Lovely. Yeah, we need to merge these guys. I can already see a thing we're going to have to refactor, which is good. You know what? In fact, I kind of think we should just do that. There we are, and get rid of manager. There we go. Let's see, spell manager. Yep. Our parsers are supposed to be guys that load data in my game, load the data files. That's what a parser is. A manager, so these are just words I made up. I'm trying my best to figure out definitions. So a parser takes data from the files and adds them to the game. A manager creates and destroys objects in the game. So a customer manager is going to create and destroy customers in the game. A customer parser is going to load the data of the customers into the game. A little bit different on the parser versus manager. This is the new definitions I've tried to make up to make things easier to understand. So for example, our customer parser here, you can see is loading up the data. That's correct. We have a flavor description. This guy here, I don't believe I would call you parser. If anything, I would call this data because it is data. So instead of flavor descriptions, we're going to call it flavor data. But we already have flavor data here. You can see flavor data, all of these guys, we have type, sweet, which is interesting. Hold on. Huh? Hold on. I think I figured out why. There's two of the same exact things. They're the same exact file, but they're labeled differently. And somewhere along the lines, because they've been labeled differently, because you can see, right, type, wizard, description, attribute, color, type, all of these guys. Yeah, I see, I understand now. And poor manager now needs to find a new job, I suppose. We have plenty of managers to go around, but the ghost manager is a little bit out of business at the moment. And hi, Wally, welcome back to stream. Big fan. I want to have enough courage for you to live stream my coding. Well, you don't have to wait around. The thing is, you have to go into it knowing you are a beginner and you're going to make a lot of mistakes. What I found to be really encouraging about streaming my programming process is that a lot of the times, people who know a lot more will come on here and they'll help me. So the thing of, it can be super beneficial, especially for learning to program, or not program, but to stream it, because you get second eyes, multiple eyes on your screen, and the ghosts are on vacation. Yeah, totally not dead or anything. Okay, so the good news is we know for certain why it's angry. It's because somewhere along the line, we're using the correct information, and somewhere along the line, we're using the incorrect information. It's using flavor description somewhere. What I should be able to do is if I do Control F or Control Shift F, I can search through the whole files of everything in my game. And if I go ahead and I type up here, flavor_description, and I go ahead and add an S, find. Where are we using this guy? We're not using him anywhere in the code, but I think he's being used somewhere. If we go into our flavor parser, what are we using? On the very top, we can see flavor data. We're using flavor data. Is this the right one? This is the correct one. Flavor descriptions is the old one. Let me just double check. Let's see. Simple song, easy to follow along. Yeah, this is the old one, I believe. Silty, and then this one here. Silty floral, yeah. So it depends. Who's old, who's new? Gotta figure that out. And ghosts aren't dead. That's probably not how it works. Yes, the ghosts are the unliving, or unliving, but it depends on the perspective of things, really. Let's see here. I'm wondering because, let's see, got the cool people, and then this guy says as well, it should say, I believe, nice. Okay. And the class names are here as well. We have all of these guys. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete both of the files, and we're going to go with the most recent updated file. I think that's the best course of action. So what we'll do is we'll go back into flavor parser, and this flavor JSON here, this flavor data, is going to be removed, and we're going to redo it again. So I'll go ahead and I'll delete our data and our description. Both of these guys are going to get deleted, as they're confusing. I'm not sure which one is right. And now let's go and make the correct one. So if I go back into, let's see, our Obsidian here, like so, the data is supposed to be an import of a spreadsheet. That's how I'm currently keeping track of everything in my game. And if I click on, let's see, you here, our flavor chart, you can see this is supposed to be a graph, all the different flavors combined together. Sort of like a math calculation sheet. So anytime I want to add a new flavor, all I'd have to do is go, for example, to here. I'd have to modify it, add it to the board. And if I just do from here and then here, or yeah, here, then I just add these guys. And then hopefully that should make it easy. And coding's so hard, she's turning French. Pardonnez-moi. Let's see. And if we go into flavor data, this is what the flavor data should say. We have a type, we have a wizard, we have a description, we have an attribute, and a color. And these are all the things. This guy is filled out. So all I have to do is I should just be able to do file. And if I do download, I'm looking to turn it into a CSV. I'll go ahead and download this guy. Once it's done downloading, let's see, I'll do it in here, yep. From there, I then have to go to a different website and we're turning the CSV data into JSON data. I should be able to click on this guy, yeah, CSV to JSON. Then I'll have to do is grab you here. And if I go back into my downloads, and I should, I believe, just be able to drag and drop you into that. Yep, here's our data. Click on convert, and it converts it into data that we can use. I click download again, and this is going to be instead our flavor, and then we're, FLAVOR, flavor, and then we're going to do flavor underscore data. There we are, flavor data. Go ahead and save it here, overwrite it. Yep, this is the new data. And if we do that, we should be able to go now back into my game, and it should be updated now. So let's see. Let's go back into Godot here, and from there, I'll just drag and drop, and now we have flavor data here. And then I can go ahead and copy you, copy path, and then if I go ahead and just paste you into, let's see, here. Oh, hold on. Remove, paste, like that. Okay, so now it should automatically update, and hopefully, data should be good to go. If we go back to Necromancer, you can see type, bidder, wizard. All of these things are correctly filled out. So let's see if it's this that was wrong, or if it's somewhere up the line in a product or operations. Let's see who's right here. If we go ahead and go back to our Godot here, go back to you, and then we open up you here, let's take a look. Okay, so good and bad news. Good news, we cleaned up something that was already confusing earlier. Bad news, this guy has no idea what he's talking about. Difficulty, well, everything's right except the flavor. For some reason, it's saying the flavor is sweet, which it is not. Now, I'm curious to see if we request the flavor of, let's see, flavor description box, because it's saying bitter. What if I ask for sweet? I'm super curious. And we'll also do it in our cafe as well. So we'll ask for the sweet flavor. Let's go into, let's see. Ready, all of these guys here. Oh, I guess I deleted the paste. Yeah, there was paste here. So if I ask for sweet, is the data going to be swapped? That's what I'm curious to see. So let's give it a go. Go in here, go in here. Interesting. So everything's right, but the flavor. The necromancer is the correct class. It's supposed to be pink. We don't have difficulty or attributes. And we have the description, all of those guys there. So somewhere along the line, the flavor and the pairings aren't being given correctly. So it's going to be an issue, I think, with our parser. The guy that's supposed to understand the data we're giving it, not the manager. So if we go into our flavor parser, let's see, flavor parser. It's gonna be somewhere along the line in this code. It's not a lot, but it definitely is a little bit of a head twister. We were working on this last week. I thought I fixed it. Apparently, not quite. So let's give it a go. If we go back to here, this is where the data is being parsed. This is where it's being taken apart and understood. We start off by grabbing the flavor type with the string. New flavor, flavor type. The flavor type, you can see new flavor, flavor type. And is it Utkarsh? Thank you for the follow. Welcome to stream. Welcome in. Such a shame it's not doing the audio thing, but I did catch your name. And again, thank you for the follow. Let's see. You here, yep. And actually, I'm super duper curious. Just doing a quick check. If I do this guy, I save it, and then I emulate a follow event. Does it do it?
Kellyanne just followed.
You know, maybe going forward, it'll be fixed now. One can only hope. Maybe that did it. I don't know. Only time will tell. What we're doing here is we're parsing the flavor data. And from our new flavor, we're grabbing the type. And what this type is saying is if we can go here, you can see it grabs the type and the type is the name. So when it grabs bitter, the type should be bitter. That's the hope. If we go back into here, from type, we get the flavor. And let's see, if flavor type does not have our type, then we can't parse it. And if our flavor or type of flavor is not, then it's not in the dictionary. This is a lot of things going on, but we'll figure it out. Because I too am not too happy with the wording. It's a lot of types and names and types and names, and it kind of makes my head spin. So let's see if we can make this a little bit easier to read. And well, my chance is gone, unfortunately. I wish there was a fun way. Oh, hold on. I got an idea. Hold on. If I do copy your name here, do you hear? Oh, no. Never mind. Sometimes it lets me do like a custom event. It did not, unfortunately, but you're here in spirit at the very least. And thank you again. Let's see. What I want to do is check the data here. What are we getting with this guy? So what I want to do is I want to print, and I'm going to do new flavor. And then I'm also going to print, well, actually we'll do, let's see, utility, or no, it's a dictionary. So yeah, print, that's not how you spell print, and then new flavor, yeah, new flavor. And then we're also going to print a line, so we know. So I can go ahead and do utility dot print debug message. We'll make sure it is line, and then a little bit more line, yeah. And then let's see. We'll also do a debug color. So utility dot debug color dot. Let's do rainbow, like that, yeah. And hello, cook. Did I miss a name? Hold on. Did I? Hold on. Up. Let's see. You. Name. I did see Shard. I saw I saw Natalie. Game Maker. TB. Wally. No, I don't see the cook name, unfortunately. But welcome in, cook. My apologies for not catching your name earlier. Welcome in. That was the name. Oh! I see. Okay, they're not real. I got worried for a second. I missed it. Oh boy. Okay, good. This time it was a part of my imagination. All right, I'll click play here. Let's see what data it prints out. Oh boy. Let's see. If I go ahead and slide it up, what are we seeing? And hi, Journer. Welcome into stream. Welcome back. I hope you've been well. I hope you've had a fun time doing whatever it is you get up to. If I go ahead and slide, or actually, instead of sliding him up, let me become bigger. I'm perfectly sane? Yeah! Sane, not insane in the membrane. Sane in the brain. Completely different. Let me move you about here. Slide you down a little bit more like there. to hopefully make it a little bit easier to say. And this time, all the time, all day, every day, 24/7. Oh boy, they've been good things. Good. I'm happy to hear it. So let's see. If we go up to our floral, our smoky, our memory, our bitter. There we are. Bitter, wizard, necromancer, description, gothic, cool people, attributes. This information so far, so good. It is so far correct. Something else is happening somewhere else. So what we can go ahead and do is remove this. Next up, what we have to do is check this guy. Once we do that, we check this guy and we go bit by bit. Because if you remember, for some reason, the flavor isn't matching everything else. And sadly, school exists again, so now I have to go. No worries, Jack. Good luck with killing the dead code to death. Ah, yes, logic is logicking. And it's a necromancer game after all. Thank you, Jack. Oh boy, I hope you have a lovely one at school. I'm glad people are able to get something out of it. It's always really nice to hear in fancy console with rainbow waves. Oh yeah! If I'm gonna suffer through bug fixing, I can at least make it colorful and fun. Oh boy, it's a thing to do with rich text, and all you'd have to do is like, if I click on this super quickly, you would take BB code, for example, color, and you can color your messages if you use the function print rich instead of print. So it's super neat. There's all different things you can do with the rainbow frequencies and the waves. Super duper neat. Oh, you can't see it? Hold on. There we go. You can see, I can center it, I can color it with the BB code, and then the rainbow guy's up here. And instead of using print, you do print rich, and it lets you move it around, which is super duper neat. Let me go ahead and close utility here. And what we were looking at was not our flavor description box, flavor parser. We need to first check this chunk, and if this is correct, let me go down, because there's 3 chunks to the code. What I usually do is I separate it like this, where instead of doing it more along the lines of that, I separate it by ideas. So this is all just setting it. This is checks. So usually I do it like that because those are the different steps inside. So let's see. I'll go ahead and save this here. I need to know if I can do that in Unity. Oh, I wouldn't know. I only recently learned about the colorful text in Godot, and I've been using it since. It's super fun, but I hope it's in Unity. That'd be super neat if it was. I at some point want to try Unity, so if it's not, I'm gonna be a little disappointed, but it's gotta be. It certainly has to be. Fingers crossed and hoping so, because I like the feature. I think it adds a little bit of fun and dazzle-razzle to the coding experience. So let's see. Flavor type string, new flavor type. So now what we're going to do is we're going to print now the flavor type. So we're going to go ahead and do print, and we're going to do 2 things. I can't word, can I? Okay. First, we're going to print what's there for flavor type string. So what I'm going to do is do flavor type string. Flavor, FLA, flavor type string. That's step 1. Step 2 is going to be printing out whatever this guy is here. We want to make sure that they match. So what I can do, and I found this out not recently, but sort of recently, where if you want the name of your dictionary enum, what you can do is you grab the dictionary. So in this case, you would do flavor, and then you would grab the class of the dictionary. In my case, flavor is the class, and then dictionary or the enum is the type. So if I click on this guy to hopefully explain a little bit more, you can see flavor is the class, enum is the type here. So I would do flavor.type, and then you do .type, so type, and then you would do find key, and then you put whatever enum you're looking for. And for this example here, we have, let's see, flavor type .has, oh, hold on, something's off here. Let's see. If not you, set type, I see. Okay, we'll do it here then, since this is where it gets set. So we'll do it there. That way we can set flavor type. Yeah. Flavor type string, all of you guys here. There. Okay, we're looking for these 2 guys to match up and be the same thing. And then from there, what I'll do is I'll do a utility again, and we'll go ahead and print debug, print debug message. We'll go ahead and do our lines again. Maybe, you know what? We'll go for pluses this time. And we'll just keep it like that. Okay, save here. Let's give it a go. I'll click on play here, and we should see 2 guys matching with everyone. Floral, salty. So far, so good. So we know for certain that part of the code is working. If I make this a little bit bigger, and we do, let's see, make Godot bigger here, you can see salty, floral, smoky. All of these guys, they're matching up. That's good. Which means somewhere else below this code is where the problem happens. So we'll go ahead, we'll close Godot, we'll go ahead and hide that guy here, and let's keep on going. So we know for certain, once you get down here, it's good to go. It's functional, which is good. Because right now we're only checking. And then this is where we actually set things up at. One thing I want to try next is seeing about, because we're doing the set type here and type the flavor type. So I want to see what's going on here. The idea is that flavor and flavor type are a little bit different. This was the only way I could think of how to do it in my game. But flavor itself is a class, not an enum. The name of the flavor is the enum. So that's what the dot type is. So I take the name of the flavor and then the profile of the flavor. So it's had me thinking, maybe I should do more something along the lines of, let's see if we go into flavor, just as an example, because this doesn't read to me clearly. It's simple enough, but I don't like the way it looks. What I'm thinking is, and if I go here, just to see if we can do a little bit here. Currently how it works is I have a dictionary. In my dictionary, it is flavor.type. And then, for example, it would be, let's see, bitter, and then it would be like that, bitter, like that. And then it's a flavor. Well, hold on, like that. And it's the profile of the flavor, but I don't quite like the way it looks. And hi, Robin the Who. Welcome back into stream. Hello. It's the loveliest Eris. Thank you, and welcome into stream. Welcome back. Welcome in. I hope you've been well. I can say feeling a lot better. Yesterday was not too good, but I'm still really happy I streamed. So welcome in. I don't like the way this reads. What I'm thinking is, because in my game I have a place where I keep factors of everything. I call it my cookbook. What I'm thinking is we do cookbook, and then we do dot, and then we say flavor, dot, bitter, and then we can do something like flavor profile. I think the second one reads a little bit better than the first one, because at the moment we're binding what is it called? A subsection of the thing. So we're binding the child to the parent instead of the parent to the child, which is, I don't like it. It works at the moment, but maybe this is also why it's not working at the moment. And I hope your headache's all better now. It 100% is. And you can make it a public enum and call it flavor type. Ooh, can you elaborate a little bit on the public enum shard? Do you mean like a global enum, like in a script? Like my utilities? How I have, let's see, my utility is a global script. But what do you mean exactly by global enum? Can you elaborate a little bit? Oh, yeah. That's this idea here. Because cookbook right now currently is a public. All of these guys are currently public information. So I'm thinking we can move it to this guy and then call it flavor here. And then all of this information I want about my flavor, we'll then just call this flavor profile, something like that. I think that works out a little bit better. And sorry, C# term. No, you're good. I have been using Godot, I think, for maybe 3-ish years now, but I get confused with the wording of like C++ and Godot sometimes. Like, I'm so used to saying switch case, but in Godot it's like match, I think. And then so it's always a thing of wording's a little bit funny, but I totally get what you mean, don't worry. Public is global, yep. I'm thinking this guy reads a little bit better than writing off like this, because we're looking to make flavor profiles out of flavors, not taking flavor types and setting their flavor. This feels a little bit backwards to me. So I'm thinking maybe the next course of action would be to refactor that section by turning this guy into this guy. And this might help us. It might break the game though. So I'm going to save. Oh boy, I think that's the best course of action at the moment though. Because I think if we clean it up so we convert this into this, it's going to make all of this easier to understand. Because right now, it's a little bit weird why we're setting the flavor type and then it's a flavor type. It doesn't read the clearest. So this is what we'll do. We'll have the ads go on since they're about to run. And we'll also save it, do all of those things, take a little bit of a break, and then we'll get into things, why don't we? So I'll go ahead and have the ads run. I'll go ahead and also save, or hold on. I'll remove this guy here. I'll go ahead and save it. Let's see. Save it as a backup. That's another thing I learned too. Make sure you have backups. I use, what is it called? A GitHub, I believe, for my backups. Whenever I do something big in my game, or even really small, I have source control to make sure I can always go back to an older version of my game should I need to, should I break something. So I'm going to save a version of it right now. Let's see, pre-refactor, R-E-F-A-C-T-O-R, pre-refactor. We're going to commit it and push it, which means we have a save point. That's ultimately what it is. Save point. Like when you're about to see if you can fight a boss, and if you can't, you just go back in the game. Now, I'm not, what is it called? Save scumming, I think. I'm not a save scummer, so to speak, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Especially when the enemy is you. The enemy of my enemy. So I'll get some water. We'll do a little bit of a stretch if we still have time, and then we'll go and we'll redo everything when it comes to flavor. I think that'll help a lot, is the hope. And I think then we also should do it in another part of the code if this is the course of action we're going to do. It might make things a little bit easier. Because, for example, we have customers in my game, but we also have customer profiles. And a customer has a profile. The customer profile does not have a customer type. That's why I'm thinking it's the wording. I like that better. A profile for information. I think using profile as a word for information, just like how I used a parser or a manager, I like that idea. Profile equals information. Let me get water, though. Let's see. Tasty. Okay. Yeah. I'm thinking that will be the good way to do it. The thing is, at the moment, each of these guys is also individual, so I don't have two flavors of bitter. But I guess that's where a dictionary would come into play, because if you only use that key, then you can't do two of the same key type. So I think it'll work out. I think this is good, because the wording right now is a little wonky. Let me get some of my juice. Tasty as well. And then let's do a few stretches. And just looked into how enums are created in GDScript. It's interesting to say the least. Can you elaborate a little bit, Shard? Do you mean like writing it like this, or do you mean like behind the scenes and memory allocation, things like that? Oh boy. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the right a little bit, and then we're gonna go to the left a little bit, and then we're gonna go back a little bit. Don't break anything now. I feel like I broke something or I hurt something. I'm gonna go to the front a little bit. Make sure you're going to the right. Make sure you're going to the left. Make sure you're tilting your head to the right. Make sure you're tilting your head to the left. And let's see, go up and freeze, and then go down. Another one you can do is turning to the right. And if you point your head down, that's also can be a good stretch. And usually you want to hold these, but you can also kind of bounce them. Bouncing can work too. And then we'll go one more, and then here. Oh, that one's pretty good. Yeah, hold it just for a little bit. And then that should be all good to go. I'm feeling hydrated, I'm feeling stretched out. So let us continue, and welcome back from the ads. Alrighty then. So, we are going to turn this into this. That is the current play, the current hope to do things. So, what that means is, and oh boy, I'm not ready at all for this change. We're going to grab this type here, and we're going to move it to cookbook. Like that. Yep. You're going. Now, funny enough, this was here before, but I changed it. And obviously just from using C#, but not just used to using a class as a catalyst to hold my enums being my only option to create things. And let's see, I don't know a lot about how Godot enums behave, but the values were off by 1 when you ran the project. Ah, it seems like something is indexing into the enums by the values in the enums property, if that makes sense. Interesting. I know I ran into that problem last week, but I thought I fixed it, but that could certainly be it. Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah. Whoa. It's not because of this, right? Because if this is -1, then this is going to be 0. That was my understanding of how indexing with enums worked, at least with numbers. And hi, the triangle. Welcome back to the stream. Hey, Eris, how goes it? It goes well. I'm feeling a lot better. Had some complications this weekend, but I'm glad to be able to do one full stream. Fingers crossed, knock on wood today. And let's see, instead of cookbook.flavor, I can just skip it entirely and having something like flavor.profile. Oh, interesting. I don't know if I remember that. Well, I don't remember that, but that does sound nicer, yeah. And or keeping it somewhere else because it has to have a home. And our home is going to be in this cookbook. That's what that guy is. It's not a class, it's just the cookbook. And in our type, we're going to do flavor. Now, this is where the scary part comes into play, is renaming everything. So you can see our flavor.type. Anytime we use the flavor.type. So if anything, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy out all of this first, and then we're gonna redo everything. And I don't know, it sounds more like importing issue. I don't really see usage of holding classes though. We'll see. Oh, you mean for the C#. Next, what I'll do is I'm going to grab this flavor.type and what this guy should be. So instead of flavor.type, it should be, well, at least cookbook's gonna be a little bit different, but it should just be flavor. Anytime we use flavor.type, it should just be flavor, except for these guys, which are going to be, everything else should be cookbook.flavor. So I'm going to do Control-Shift-F, and we're going to do, instead, find flavor, oh, hold on, flavor.type, whole word, match case, and if I click find here, we should be able to see anytime I ever used flavor.type in the code. And now we're going to replace that flavor.type, and it's going to instead be replaced with cookbook.flavor. That is the hope. That way we don't have to do, well, yeah, cookbook.flavor.none, something like that. It's just my preference, I say. Interesting. I see. And if it is an issue, maybe it's something to someone's liking. Yeah, that makes sense. I would love to, the least amount of words or the less words I can use, the better. That's the hope, at least, as I don't want to do too much. The good news is, nowadays, due to technology, the words don't have to be, what's the word I'm looking for? You can write out the whole word. You don't have to do small versions of the word. But, well, excuse me, it used to be good practice to do small portions of it because it would save space. But because we don't have to worry about saving space, now the good practice became using the full word of something instead of making the small version. I forget what the word's called. So for example, dictionary should now be fully dictionary instead of like that, which is nice because it allows you to not misinterpret things as much as it used to be. And also the uses of holder. I see. Okay, so Control-Shift-F, and we're going to find and replace. We are going to replace flavor.type with cookbook.flavor. So I'll go and do cookbook, and then we'll do dot, and then we'll do flavor. Step one's just going to be to change the wording, and then we can change the system itself. So we'll see how this goes. I'm not excited, but you know what? We're here together. So I'll go ahead and replace all, and it says no undos. Thankfully, again, because we have a backup, if this change does not go well, I can always just delete the code and re-download it because we made saves. So let's see, reload from disk. All of these guys are now changed and modified, which is a-okay. The hope is that if I click refresh, no more matches, and I close this guy. Next up, what we have to change is, you can see this cookbook.flavor. No longer is it going to be cookbook.flavor. Or no, yeah, this is right. But for these guys in here, at least, so Control F, Control R, it's just going to be flavor. Like that. And I should be able to just replace all like that. And then up here, we have our flavor. So that's good to go so far. Next up, we have our flavor guy here, which will now be flavor profile. And how we're choosing to define profile is a description of a thing in the world. For example, here I have a customer. So customer here. And this is the customer class. This is an object in my game, a person, an entity that is invisible. And in my game, I have different types of customers. So I have what's called, well, it's a resource. I have a customer and I have a customer profile. You can see here. And it is everything to do with the data of the customer. That's the hope, is that profiles are where data about something is stored. And let's see, but not mandatory. Opened window API for some words. I don't even know what those words are, TB. Let's see. Saying that, and I did read that. Good. Okay, so from here, our dislike flavors, flavor.type. Yeah. Anytime we use flavor in lowercase, we also need to change that. So I'm going to do Control-Shift-F, and this flavor is going to be fine first. You can see anytime we used it, flavor.combo. Yeah. And there's a lot of guys that are also being printed. Truthfully, though, there's not a lot of flavors. So what I'm thinking is we can just go and manually change it. I think that'll be better than just replacing everything. So instead of flavor.type, what it's going to be instead, or actually, hold on. Let's see, Control-Shift-F, flavor.type. This is now cookbook.flavor. So find all of you. Hold on, Control-Shift-F, flavor.type, whole word, match case. We should be able to find it. Find. There we are. Okay, flavor.type here. Yeah, you guys are angry. That's okay. You'll be okay. You'll be fine. So instead of flavor.type, it's going to be cookbook.flavor. Like that. That's the new guy. And all we'll do is we'll go through each of these. And hold on, let me blow my nose. Quick sec. There we are, good to go. And hello, beautiful. Hi, Toak. Welcome to the stream. Nice channel you have here. Well, thank you. You know, I try. Welcome in, though. Welcome back, and I should definitely follow. Maybe now we'll get to see if the follow notifier works correctly. Fingers crossed. I see the notification, but does it pop up there? No. Thank you for the follow, though, Toak. I think that makes, what, the 10th? I truly am going to have to see why it decided to not work. It's super duper odd. It works when I manually do it, but not interesting. Angry Bobby, I agree. Angry Bobby. Oh boy. So let's see, cookbook.flavor. That's what we're doing for flavor.type. So anytime cookbook.flavor. So flavor type here, find, Control F, Control R, and we're going to do flavor.type. If I do match case, whole word here, replace all. Like that. That should be good to go. Where else are we having issue at? Yes. Now this is called a flavor profile. And this type is not going to be type.none. This guy's got to get changed a little bit. This type is going to be find, replace. And you are instead going to be, let's see, whole word. You're going to be instead cookbook.flavor. And then we're going to replace all. And then let's see, customer profile.cookbook.flavor. Yeah, so you're going to be type because you are, let's see. Oh, hold on. You might have to manually do this. This one hurts my head a little bit. That's okay. You are cookbook.flavor. And then it's going to be cookbook.flavor.none. That makes sense so far. We have type, and then type is going to equal cookbook.flavor.none. Customer profile, that's all good to go. We have cookbook.flavor. And I think down here, let's see, cookbook.flavor, cookbook.flavor. Okay, that's good to go. Where else are we? We're gonna get angry guys everywhere. I already know it. So I might just have to run the code and see where it breaks at. Trial by brute force. Let's see. Close you here. And I'm watching a video that talks about having clean code equals bad performance. Interesting. You know what? I'm not surprised. Sometimes clean code's not a good idea. Sometimes for what? Well, it depends. If it's good, sometimes it's bad. Sometimes. It truly does depend on case by case, but that's interesting, Toak. Let's see. So for our type to flavor, we're going to take a cookbook.flavor, and then we're going to do a flavor profile. So I'll do find, replace, and I do Control F, Control R, and it's going to be flavor, and then it's going to be profile. Something like that. And then we're going to replace all. So it's going to be a flavor to a flavor profile. That makes sense. And then flavor to wizard, flavor profile to customer profile. I think that reads clear. And I'm joking? Oh! I see! Oh boy! Terrible joke! And I can see it in your code that you would say that! Oh, do you mean the video, it was a joke? Or are you saying my code is a joke? I expect nonetheless! Oh boy. You know what? I try! As long as attempts are made, I'm more than content. So let's see here. This would change everything, and I really do like the wording now. Flavor to wizard, profile to profile, flavor to profile, and nice misunderstanding. Of course. So let's see here. If I click on main menu, map parser, all these guys, they're all going to be angry at me, most likely. But you know what? I'm ready to take the heat. So I'll go ahead and click on play. Yep. All right. Who's angry first? Hello, order icon. I would expect no less. Let's see. Cookbook.flavor. And then first flavor is going to be cookbook.flavor. I see. This is going to be a flavor profile. That's what you need. And you're going to be second profile. profile. And instead of first flavor, we're going to say now first flavor profile. And that should make it easier to read. And well, clean code usually is not the most optimal, but what you lose in performance, you win in maintainability. That is the point of clean code. Yeah, I remember, and I don't remember what it was, but I remember seeing like a triangle of like optimization. And then there was three things you could go for when it came to making code. I forget which one, but I remember one of them was optimization. Another one I think was maybe speed. Another one I think was readability. Something of the likes, but I think I know what you're talking about, Toak, is, yeah, you can't specialize in all of them. You gotta kind of have a class and a subclass. So let's see. We have underscore profile here. We have underscore profile here. So first flavor profile, second flavor profile. And I think this reads a lot better. And instead of type to flavor, we can now change this to flavor to profile. And I think that's easier to read than type to flavor. Yeah, and let's see. Then there's a generated code. Let's see. It's not even inside the triangle. Well, one of the things is we don't, well, the discussion of like Gen AI code is not talked about here since we're trying to do our own. And we're trying to make our own paths. So let's see here. Flavor profile, type the flavor here. Yep. Okay. So you here, type the flavor. I'm gonna do Control F and then Control Shift R. Fine. And we use it everywhere in here you can see. And I want to replace it. So if I do Control Shift F again, and we click on replace, I want to change type to flavor now instead to flavor to, oh, hold on, flavor underscore to underscore profile, F-I-L-E. And oh yeah, this is a good idea. It's easy to understand. Instead of type to flavor, it's flavor to profile. Replace all. Reload. Like that. Flavor to profile. Good. And then from there, let's see. Flavor, and then we have profile, and then we have profile. Profile. I don't know, the idea of trade-off between maintainability and performance might be used. Won't tell anyways, as more nice words for bad code. Or I don't know that the idea of trade-off between maintainability and performance might be used. Won't tell always as more nice code for... Oh, I don't get what your sentence means, TB. I'm trying, but the wording, I'm getting a little bit confused at. I don't know that idea of trade-off between maintainability and performance might be used. Won't tell always is more nice word for bad code. No, I don't understand it. I tried though. Let's see. Flavor profile, and then we have a flavor parser. Yeah. And then, let's see. You would need to be underscore, and you're going to be profile. And you're going to be profile as well. Profile. And who is saying that? Oh boy, the YouTube side of things. Toak, the not imaginary people, they're very real. Let's see, we'll copy you and we'll copy you. And that should be good to go. First flavor dot color. Oops. Let's see. That should be here and that should be here. There you are, good to go. Let's check back with our flavor parser. Are you happy so far? You should be. And if we go up here, we should be able to see our flavor to profile. Yep. And hello there, energetic game dev. Welcome in. Was it Roxred, I believe? Where you can correct me again. It usually takes me a few tries to get the name right. But welcome in, and hello. I'm all wrapped up today because it's a refactoring day, and I love me a good code cleaning and a nice cup of coffee or cup of tea and sitting down for a few hours and just cleaning up code. It's so relaxing. And Pumpkin girl, what's up? Where are you getting pumpkin from? Hold on now. Let's see. We were looking at flavor to profile. So right now we're just going through renaming things. We're going from flavor.typed to cookbook.flavor. That's the name of the game here. And right now, a lot of code is broken. So we're fixing the name, the wording. If I close this guy, the game should break again. If it works as intended, yeah. It's gonna break. There's gonna be a lot of places broken. So what we have to do is just find where they break and go from there. Let's see. Oh, I wanted to say that I think that code can be both performant and maintainable. And when trade-off arises, it can be issue of bad code, though maybe not always. I can see it, yeah. If I can, let's see. Just quickly go into here. Something like, let's see. here, and then the triangle I was talking about, where like you have option A and then option B. You don't? No, that's not a B. B! It doesn't have to be up here. You could go for like here, where it's a little bit of both. I don't remember what all three of these were, but I believe it was a triangle. I don't remember the specifics, but I do see what you get, or what you mean. Let's go back into programming here, and let's see, shall we? So, update by flavor. Instead, what this should be is not flavor, it should be profile. So let's see. Instead of flavor, what we're going to do here is say flavor profile. So let's see. If I do fine and I replace, we're only using it in 2 areas, so I should just be able to do flavor profile, like that. And then from here, what we're going to do is do fine and replace, and we're going to say flavor underscore profile, and we're going to replace these guys so that we don't get confused either, like that. However, for this guy down here, get flavor string, we're going to make sure that this is the flavor. And then we're going to go cookbook.flavor, and then this is going to be flavor, because these are 2 different things, flavor and flavor profile. I think having your code being readable is good, especially for team environments. Oh yeah, I was taught on, what is it called? I forget, but I can show you. If I go into Obsidian here, I was taught to try my best to follow. If I open up Obsidian from my side of things, where are we at? Style guides. Yeah, style guides. And that's one of the things I want to keep in mind when refactoring. Usually, when you're in a company or you're working on a team, there is this manual book that says how things should be written. For example, if I go down to down somewhere here, down here, you can see we have snake case, Pascal case, constant case. Things should be written a little bit differently depending on what they are. And usually you'll be given a guide on what should be what. Because I'm not working in a team, it's not that important. But I would like my best to be as consistent as possible, because should I work on a team in the future, I'd like to be able to follow a system instead of just sometimes using snake case, sometimes using Pascal case, because it won't change anything. But the visibility of it, I think, is a little bit of more the thing I prefer to look for instead. So let me go back into, let's see, programming here. And from there, what are you agreeing at now, game? Let's see. And, okay. It's a little scary. It's working. Okay, hold on. Let me click on you here. And let me see if I can open up, since you are preparing, or just in case, yep. Let me click on you here and click on you here. There we are, good. And now, let's see, you here and break? Yeah, okay, good, it broke. That's what I wanted. Very important. Okay, so update by flavor. Flavor parser dot type to flavor. Yep, and we take cookbook.flavor. Yeah, and now why is it angry? Flavor parser type to flavor. Invalid access because on base object node flavor parser. What are you trying to say exactly? Because we're taking, oh, I know. This should not be typed to flavor anymore. And let me make sure it's fine and replace. Control Shift, hold on, copy. Control Shift F, Control Shift, let's see, replace. It's only being used here. It should be flavor to profile. Oh, hold on, profile. There we are. And let's see. And sometimes people use their own standards. Yeah, the thing is, I'm not going one-to-one with how Godot does it. Because of my background already with C++, I learned to do, for example, making enums case, or the big ones, all capital letters. I usually make enums capital letters, and I make my constants capital letters. I don't think Godot recommends you do that for one of those. So it's a thing of keeping some of the same things. You can say, oh, never mind, they do it. Oh, no, enum names are not constant as well, or capital. So I make my constants, my enum names, and my enum members all capitals. And let's see, in a way, you're always on a team of 2, past you and right now you. I agree. I've been told programming is like playing murder mystery, where you are the detective, you are the victim, and you are also the criminal. And that's become one of my favorite sayings, because I enjoy it, and I always have a problem with past me. A lot of fighting. And hi, really welcome into stream, and good night. Rest well. Word, blah, 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 blah. But I hope you have a lovely one. Thanks for stopping by. And at least so much problems in work. Yeah, I agree. My memory is not good, so if I can read things clearly, I'm gonna go with that. And that's a pretty accurate description. I'm glad to hear it. I don't remember the exact saying, but it's something along the lines. I gotta get the right saying. Who wrote this? Oh, me. Yeah. Oh boy. And my past self writes really bad code. Oh boy. I used to be, in college, super perfectionist when it came to code, but then it made me not write a lot because I was too busy cleaning it. So now I am purposely making bad code, or at least code that works, and I worry about cleaning it and optimizing it later. And going for that method has worked out for me because I spend less time on perfection and more time on making, and it's been the difference. However, I am now suffering the consequences of my actions, as I have not refactored for a year. So refactoring this code that's a year big has taken a little bit over a month, and I'm still not done. And just start over. Hold on now. And Twitch chat is absolutely right. I sometimes look back on some old code when jumping back into a project and asking myself what this function did. Yeah. But the good news is the fact that you can question it and you know something's wrong when you look at your old code means that you improved. And true, I'm refactoring too. Oh boy. Let's see. Levels, you? Okay, so we're still having the problem. However, I think we did successfully refactor. If I just go ahead and hide this guy super duper quickly, we grab our bidder object, and I don't remember who said it, but someone was talking about how it seems to be the case that the enums are one forward or one behind. It told us, and I have to go back, hold on, to this area over here. So the necromancer is referencing this flavor of memory. And if we look back in our cookbook, we have, let's see, sweet, interesting. Yeah, and I'm guessing when we did bitter, it was also sweet. Interesting. I wonder why it's indexing a little bit funny then. And have you done many game jams? Nope. And hi, Mia. Welcome to stream. I have done 0 game jams. I have participated in none. I have done a total of 1 game. I made 1 game in 24 hours, but it wasn't made in a day. It was just any time I worked on the game, I had a timer going. So I could only use 24 hours anytime I want. And it took about a week or 2 to make my first game. And now I'm working on my second game. I'm hoping once my game gets to a good state, I can participate in some game jams, but I want to make sure my game is stable and in a good condition before I start doing fun projects here and there and then not focusing a lot on my game. But I hope to do game jams. And thank you too. Is it Barthy? My guess? You can tell me how close I got, but thank you for the follow. Welcome into stream. There's usually a sparkly ooh and ah, but it's a little bit broken at the moment, but I still see you nonetheless. And thank you again. Welcome. So let's see. It could be counting none if you're iterating though. It could be counting none if you're iterating through. So if you're trying to get the count for the total members in the enum, it'll be like 7 instead of 6. Let's see. Let's take a look. If we now, with the new wording in the system, go back to our flavor parser and we go into our parsing the data, what are we doing? Initially, in our initializer, what I do is I make a dictionary and I grab all the flavors of the cookbook. So currently, it shouldn't be an issue because right now we're just grabbing the members, we're making the keys for the dictionary. So for example here, if I do, let's see, you here, if I go ahead and do, let's see, print, yeah, this should be fine. I think I can do print. And then if I do print and we do, let's see, flavor to profile, FLAVOR to profile. If I do this, it should give us the numbers, is my guess. And if you don't want to use none, that is, I don't know how to explain things, I only do. No worries, Shard. And if I could go in the code and type that I would, no worries, I really do appreciate your help. The thing is, it's like, excuse me, with everything I learn, I realize I don't know a lot of things. That's also the fun of it, is that there's so many different ways to do things, and I understand what you're saying. I don't think I ever use the size of the object, but again, I think it's something in here where the code is super angry at us for some reason. So let's see what this data prints. If the calculation is correct, I would expect it to be the keys, and the keys are going to be -1, 0, 1, 2, and so on. That's what we're hoping for. I'm self-taught. I see it. I am self-taught for GDScript, though I do know a little bit of C++. But overall, I would count myself as self-taught. I wholeheartedly forget most of what I learned in college. So let's see here. If I go ahead and click on play, what do we get in our initializer? We get, I move you up here, or actually, I won't move it to make it a little bit easier to see. Open up the sky. Let's scroll up to where it is initialized. So, from what I'm understanding, this part's working correctly because these guys are our enums, our -1, 0, 1, and so on. And these guys seem correct because if we go back into our code here and we go into our cookbook, -1, 0, so on and so forth. That's making sense. That is what we're hoping for. So far, so good. Let me go back into not our customer. Let's see, flavor description box. We don't need you at the moment. Right now, we don't need main menu. We need, not flavor, we're looking for our parser. Flavor parser, where'd you go? I need you. There, okay. So, good news is, this guy is working currently. I'm really happy to hear it. Next up, we have this guy back down here. So where are we printing at? I see. Okay, we'll remove this print then, and we'll also remove this print for now. The next question is, once we have set all the values of our cookbook, once we set all the keys, we then go through each part in the dictionary and assign it. Now, I think because of that bug I ran into, I ended up making it into 2 different functions because I was it was acting funny. So I set the keys beforehand and I didn't do them at the same time because it was giving me null values somewhere. So that's why these 2 are separated, where we create the keys and then we assign the values from the keys. And hi, Corsair. Welcome to stream. Welcome back in. And hi, I see more bug fixing. Let's prepare the extinguisher. I agree. Oh boy. And here I thought it was ready. Here I thought it was done. No, never am I done. Never, I say. So what I'll do here is we'll do creates the keys for the flavor dictionary, dictionary, and then assign values based on keys. That does make sense. So currently, this should be good to go. We should be okay. Next up from here is where we assign all of the values. Now, I'm curious to see if I just do this, is it going to give us a null or an error? Because these guys should be empty. They should all not have anything in them. If I click on this, yeah, okay. So right now we have flavors, they're just not set, which is good. Nothing has been added yet. You can see this is the default. Everything is nothing, which is good. That's what we wanted to see. If they were already preset, that would not be good. Which, blah, blah, words. The reason why I wanted to see if it was preset was because that means whatever is happening here is the issue. Something in this function is not happy. It doesn't happen before it happens in here because we go from being null to being set. So we take our flavor list, which is our flavor JSON data, and then if it's not empty, we do every flavor in the list and we grab that flavor. So our parse flavor data. Okie dokie. So now that we're in here in the weeds of things, what are we saying? First off, we start off with the flavor, the flavor type. So let's see, new flavor and type. Yep. And then we do flavor type string. And from there, we check to see if the cookbook has that flavor. Does it have the flavor? If not, then we say does not. But if so, we're good to go. And then we do flavor type. So we grab, or we're setting the flavor. Once we know that it is a thing and it does exist, then we go ahead and set it here. So what is this if not flavor to profile has? I see. Okay, so we're setting it. But on the chance that it's not in the flavor to profile already, then we go ahead and say, hey, I do not exist, which is good. That makes sense. So far, I'm following things. If the flavor does not have the flavor type, and also this can be renamed. So let's see, if flavored, var flavor type. Fine, rename. Let's rename you to just flavor. There we are. That also makes it easier to read. There we are. So much clearer. Now that we don't have to worry about flavor type. A lot easier. So we have a var and it's called flavor. And then we have flavor type string. No longer, we'll just set it to flavor string. I think that makes it so much easier to read than lots of words. So I'm really happy so far with the change. So var, flavor string, new flavor, type. That does make sense. Flavor string, and then we set it to all of those things, and then we set the string, and if flavor profile does not have the player flavor, then we go ahead and say, we don't have you. And now we're here, where we do flavor profile, and we set the type to flavor. So, let's see. I'm questioning, maybe this is where it's getting angry at. If I just go ahead and remove you, go ahead and save you, what happens? I'm also curious. We go into here, we go into levels here, we go into you here. Interesting. It's already set despite the fact that we didn't set the flavor. This guy should be sweet, but I didn't. It seems like this function's not doing anything. I can disable it, enable it, and it does not a thing. So I'm curious about that because it was initially memory flavor, right, with it not set. But if I uncomment it, it's still memory flavor here, which is interesting. And if I uncomment it like that, and we do this guy here, what are we seeing? We have still the same exact thing. So my next question is, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove all of these guys. The hope is that because this is removed, everything should all again be blank because we're not setting anything. Everything should not have a type. So if we go back into here, everything's null. So now that we have this as null, let's go through each thing in the class and change them. What should be easy enough is doing the difficulty first because these are our strings. So we'll go ahead and do difficulty in attribute, and I'll go ahead and press enter here, and we'll go ahead and uncomment them. Because these guys are strings, they should be the easiest to interpret. Another thing that should be super easy is also the color. So I'll do that as well, since it's not an enum or anything. These guys should be super duper easy to set. So what we're looking for is the description of like sweet something, and it should be pink. So if I click on this guy here, yep, pink, we have sweethearts, and the name attributes, those are also NA. That does make sense, that is what it is currently. However, I'm thinking as well, maybe it's a good idea to change the attribute just so we know the different parts. Possibly. And to change it, it's pretty easy. All I'd have to go and do is go into here and, for example, say, let's see, fancy instruments, INSTRUMENTS. And then for here, I would just have to say easy peasy songs. That's their attributes. And now we can have it distinguish or be set apart from the other guys. So I'll go and copy this guy into here, and I'll just quickly put this into my current guy. So let's see, our JSON, our style guide, our base. No, I'm looking for my flavor chart. And I just want to copy and paste this into here so that it's not all NA. So in our, let's see, our sweet and our attributes, let's see, sweet attributes, now going to be easy peasy songs. And our fancy is also going to be for bitter. So if I just go into Obsidian super duper quickly and delete you and paste you. Okay, so now if I click play, we should see the attributes say easy peasy or easy peasy songs. And it does. That's good. Next up, what we're missing is the difficulty. And now I can certainly say the difficulty won't play a part. Well, kind of, sorta. Usually what I see when it comes to rhythm games is that there are harder songs, harder things to accomplish, harder maps, and easier maps. Some attributes, for example, the Necromancer, which is the wizard class, are supposed to be the healing wizards. Their songs, anything that you make that is sweet, is supposed to be on the easier side. And anytime you make something that has the bitter flavor, the attribute is that it has a fancy sounding effect. So fancy instruments get used. So if a dish is sweet, it's gotta be a super easy thing to make, easy thing to type. If it is bitter, it's as fancy as you get. And if we do bittersweet as the flavor combination, then it's going to be a fancy, easy song. That's the idea behind attributes and combining them together. So I'm not sure if difficulty will come into play, because you can have easy songs and then you can have super duper easy songs. This difficulty was leftovers from when I did the music jam. So for now, we'll keep it in here, so that I don't think it matters too much. We can also see it's not even a thing at the moment, so we'll keep it, since difficulty is not a thing that's modified, which is a-okay. I think we're good. Next up was the set wizard and set type. So if I uncomment you, are you going to say memory now? That's my next question. If I go into here, go into my levels, go into you. Interesting. Okay. And if I grab you, set type, hold on. Why does it say necromancer? It shouldn't say necromancer. Hold your horses. Okay. You here. It should say any for flavor, any for wizard type. NA for class, NA for flavor, right? And then if we uncomment the flavor and we go ahead and click play here, for some reason, the wizard type is set. Was it? Yeah, the flavor should only be set. So for some reason, the class and flavor are both getting set. And let me just double check. Remove that again, click play again, because only one of those two should be set. We click this guy again. Yeah, not set, but for some reason, this little guy here is not happy with us. So let's see. Flavor to profile, flavor, and we grab the flavor. And in our set type function, does set wizard also set both? I don't know. We'll check. Right now, at least, this guy is setting both. If I just curiously do this guy here, let's try. Click on you here. Click on play, levels. I think it does set both of them too. Interesting. Okie dokie. The reason why I decided to go with functions instead of set the type inside the code is because I thought it would be cleaner. But it seems to be the case. Maybe it's also making them angry now or something, which is interesting. So let's hop into it. We'll start off first with set type. Let's go into here, flavor to profile, flavor set type. I am a little bit more confused because all we're doing here is setting the type, and that type is this. So where is it modifying anything else at? It might be a case, or actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to print the data of the flavor profile. And what I'll do is a little bit of something, let's see, flavor key profile type. Let's see. If type equal null, and also I want to change type here as well. I think, hold on. Yeah, if flavor, we're renaming that. Type, changing you to flavor. I think that'll also help. Replace all, flavor. There we are. Okay, and we're also gonna have to do the same for here, where instead of set type, it's going to be set underscore flavor. Should be a little bit easier to read now because I think that type part also helped mess things up. So in our set flavor here, we go back into our flavor guy here, and we have set flavor. So let's see, flavor, and then we have new flavor, so FLAVOR. And the hardest part about coding is finding the assets, not the actual coding. Welcome into stream. Is it Yarpenzinger? Possibly? Welcome in, and thank you for the follow. The notification is broken, but imagine in your head, like, fireworks going off. Pow, pow, pow. Thank you for the follow, and welcome into stream. It's interesting you say that. I hope to do all of the assets of my game. So I hope to write all of the music, I hope to write all of the art, I hope to write all of the programming and things of that nature because I want to understand all aspects of game development. So it's interesting you say that. I do at some point want to do more, or find more assets, but I can certainly agree, at least when it comes to finding assets to study and understand the style of, that is difficult. It's super duper difficult, but welcome in again. So, new flavor. And then we copy you, set you here. I'm wondering, where are we using the dot flavor at? We only changed it here. So I'm wondering, is it set somewhere? Is that why it's getting updated? If we go, let's see, all of these flavor guys here, since I didn't modify it outside of the sky, it should allow us to see where it's being set. If it's being set anywhere, if it's being accessed anywhere. Yep, okay. So let's see, if map parser, so we're in our flavor description box. Where are we at? If map parser, music gem map list, okay. Music gem map list. You are super duper old, aren't you? Yeah, music gem map list. We're looking in you anymore. We're looking in our map list, just default. So I'll also do this. You should be this. There we are. So if map parser has flavor profile.type, and it's not going to be type, we already know, it's going to be flavor profile.flavor. That. Alrighty, let's check. We're slowly seeing if we can break through the ideas. So let's see, grab you here, and where are we at now? Who's angry? Now we have a class name. Yep, and type. Got ya. So we find the key. So we're not setting anything here. We're just grabbing the customer profile flavor.type. Let's see, flavor profile.type. It's going to be, let's see, flavor. There we are. Yep. Is that right? Class label. We say class, and then we get the string. Let's see, customer profile.type, find key, and we do flavor profile.flavor. That doesn't seem right. I'm gonna guess this is supposed to be wizard. Like that. That makes more sense. And jack of all trades, master of none is what I try to stray away from personally. That makes sense. That's why I'm only doing the coding and pretty much only coding and some writing. I 100% understand. That's the thing, is that I don't want to commit to doing one thing yet. I want to see how hard and what it takes to do the other aspects when it comes to game development. I hope to specialize in one, which is why my goal for this game is to make everything as much as I can on my own. Because, for example, making a rhythm game, you know, at the time I didn't think, man, I'm gonna have to learn how to make music. I was just thinking to myself, oh, I'll just find music online to figure it out too. But to make a good music game or rhythm game, you kind of have to know good rhythm. So it's the thing of, I kind of fell into the hole of having to wear a lot of hats for what I wanted to do. But after this game's complete, I'm hoping to get a little bit more specific with what I want. For example, it's between getting really good art and getting really good code. I love programming. It's super duper fun. But I also love looking at the little art on screen and seeing the characters wiggle. So let's see here. If I click on play, we go into you here. What are we angry at now? Name label. Yep. We have flavor. It's going to be flavor profile.flavor. Alrighty. Well, now what are you angry at? Let's see. We have levels, you. Okay, we have some debuggers. And the class is set to none now, though, which is interesting. And the difficulty is also set... Oh, don't tell me. I think I know why, which I'm not happy with. It might have just been a UI issue. But it also seemed like in the code itself, it was not happy. But the reason why I'm thinking is because we were using not the wizard profile, we were using the flavor profile. So it was taking the number of bitter, for example, and it was putting it into the customer. It was taking one enum and taking that enum and putting it into another enum. And that's the reason why it did not equal the enum it thought it would. So it just remapped it to whatever else was on the screen. Interesting. We also have some debugs, so you know, let's take a look at that. Let's see. Update user has a variable. Attempted to use has a variable type int into a typed array of object. I see. So how do we do that? This should be an array of objects. Yes. Okay. So if map.list.has, that's not what we want. Else difficulty is NA. I see. Okay. Instead, then, we don't have to use this function. I think that's old code from the music jam. So I think if we just remove that, we should be good. No, that's a great plan, actually. Thank you. Yeah, this is the second game I've ever made before, so I don't know a lot about game dev. I'm still learning a lot, but I want to dip my toes into things to see how things go. And so far, I think it's working. Now the flavor is the correct flavor. And if we just uncomment now that other guy, so the wizard, it should say Medimancer, not Tutorimancer. And if we did all of the aspects right, it should no longer have that shifted down look to it. And it's now memory. Huh? Hold on. You were doing so good. I think it said sweet. And I'm the opposite. I specialize and get a job first. Now I'm trying to learn the other area so I can understand what every other team does and hopefully make some games solo. Interesting. I could see it, yeah. I tend to get bored super duper easily, so trying to learn a lot of new things keeps my mind interested. However, it also also becomes a thing of too much at once, where I'm so weak in every area because I don't have a strength. So it's tricky. It's the thing of do practices, daily practices for everything, but then do a set focus for one day, that sort of thing. Yeah, okay. So now, Sweet is here. It's the class function. That's not right. This should say Medimancer. Right now it's saying Tutorimancer because that's the default. Everything is correct, but you. Why? Hold on. Okay. Let's go into the function and see. If I click on set wizard here, we take our new flavor, we grab the wizard. So in our set wizard, what we're doing here, let's see. String, we're making string, grabbing the string. Okay, flavor. Huh? When? I have many questions. That should not be flavor though. That should be wizard. And so, I think with that, we have fixed the bug that was just, you know, it's the sad thing about programming, but it's also the fun thing that the program can only do. Mystery solved. The engine can only do what you assign it to do. The program can only listen to you. So if you give it incorrect instructions, it's not because it's wrong. Usually it's not, unless it's like a bug with the engine. But we'll just say it's always going to do work as intended. However, if you give it incorrect instructions, it's going to work incorrectly. Oh boy. It's working now though, isn't that lovely? Oh boy, good old logic error. Yeah, I haven't had those in a second, so you know what? I finally did after a good old second. Now, let's try. Oh, posture check. Sure. Hold on.
Has just redeemed posture
you know,
check.
that notification works, but not the other guys. Okay, posture check has been done. Thank you for the redeem. Okay, so in our flavor description, what I want to do is now we're going to try it for bitter. Let's make sure that's not how you spell bitter. Let's make sure that it's working for the other flavors. So if I click play on here, it's bitter working. And good thing about programming, program does exactly what you tell it to do. Worst thing about programming is, program does exactly what you tell it to. Yeah. Yep. And hi, Chrono Riddle. Welcome into stream. Welcome in. I'm going to make a function and not call it, only to wonder for an hour why it isn't working. Yeah. The things I really don't like is when it's, what is it? The period, or the spaces, or the tabs. Those guys, when it's tab not matching with tab, or it's a, hey, look, you use period or spaces here when you should have used tabs. That thing is also sometimes hard to track down, or when you don't use a dot in the right area. Oh boy, it truly is the programming error, not what is it? The computer itself. Okay, let's just double check on the bitter, make sure it's working. It should say necromancer because bitter is associated with the necromancer. And good to go. Purple, necromancer, bitter, description, attributes. Lovely. I'm happy to see it. I'm happy it is no longer broken. And you know what that means? That means I go ahead and save this code so that we don't make this mistake again. Oh no, let me rephrase that. We will most likely make this mistake again. However, we're not going to make the specific mistake again. It's a little bit different. Let's see. I will go ahead and set you to posty and make a backup. And what I want to quickly do as well is I want to do the same thing for dishes. Dishes are kind of the same. They work a little bit similar to the flavors where I had dish and dish type. I think doing it like the flavors, so doing cookbook.dish works a little bit better. And then we'll just call it a dish profile. I like that idea. I like this profile feel. So now that we've made our backup, let's go ahead. And also, I think this is old code when we get to it, because this was before I found out about the find key. So when we get to cookbook, I'll be excited to delete, I think, like 50% of this code, but one thing at a time. So let's see. Let's go into dish super quickly. And where are we with dishes? Interesting. It's back in cafe. Cafe's already been refactored, but we're gonna modify it some more. So let's see. Dish. And in our dish, we have flavor combo. Now, that was the other thing about my flavor, is because it was its own class, I didn't want to put it in flavor combo. The good news is now we can move flavor combo and we can move dish. So now dish does not have flavor combo. They're all now upgraded or demoted, depending on if it was a class or not, to enums and only enums. And about wanting to do everything. I understand what you mean. I'm like you. I love learning every aspect, so I know a lot of things, but I can't master them 100%. But I'm lucky to be a fast learner. Oh, that's really nice to hear. Yeah, well, my memory makes it so that I'm a fast learner, but I only learn it for that session. Tomorrow when I wake up, I'm back to square zero. But I do enjoy learning about other aspects. For example, how hard it is to make music was not something I thought of. I knew it was hard, but when I started, I thought to myself, first song, easy peasy. I can make it a whole 60 seconds. I then proceeded to make my first ever song, which was 10 seconds. I think it was 6 seconds, but it was so hard. And it gave me a greater appreciation for musicians as that's hard work. Making something sound good for a whole minute. I always wondered why songs were super duper short, and it makes so much more sense now. And hold on, how do you say that name? Is it Fireth? Maybe I can try again, but welcome into stream. Hello. And what's the ended version? 4.5? Yep, it is 4.5. It is the latest updated version. I just recently updated it. I am not reaping the benefits just yet of the 4.5 updated version, but I've also heard that it optimizes the web version of games. And right now my game is hosted on the web, so I'm hoping it'll also make my game easier to play since the prototype is on the web at the moment. Speaking of, if you'd like to give the game a try, you certainly can. Necrotype. There you go. Prototype is on there currently. And, yep, good. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're also gonna move these two enums into Cookbook. I think that'll be a good idea. So, I'm gonna grab you, and we're gonna do the same exact thing we did with flavor, is we're going to move over all of our enums into one spot, because our cookbook is where we have our, well, the thing is, it's like, my game doesn't have a recipe book quite exactly. It's the idea of instead of ingredients, you're mixing together flavors. That's where flavor and flavor combo comes into play, where you have flavors individually, and then you mix them together to create different things. Currently, I only have bittersweet and memory. These guys get added along with a few more, but because this is the prototype, I don't want to do everything at once. I just want to make sure it works. Memory is not even supposed to be in here. It's supposed to be related to another function of the game. But for now, it's here just because it's already been done. And man, I can't imagine coding and interacting with anyone at the same time. Well, I feel like I've been talking a lot more than coding at the moment. But I'm enjoying myself. I hope you all are also enjoying yourself too. That's the most important part I can hope for, so that it doesn't feel too pressured, but also doesn't feel too laxy-daisy. I hope we can be productive while also chatting a little bit here and there. So let's see. We'll go ahead and save this guy. So now, instead of dish.flavor combo, which we should also be able to do Control F and Control R, Control Shift F. So we can find it throughout the whole project, whole word match case, and then Control Shift R, or replace. Yeah, dish combo. And what are we replacing you with? We were replacing you with cookbook.flavor_combo, like that. And sometimes it helps us say, oh yeah, it's called the rubber duck method, I believe, where describing things as you go can help a lot with figuring things out. And I can certainly say that method has worked 100%. I find I excel solutions when I can try to explain them. So let's see, you here, and now you're good to go. If we go back into dish here, where are you still angry at? Here, which is okay, because you now need to be cookbook. Cookbook dot. There you are. And we'll go ahead and copy you. So cookbook.flavor combo. Now where are we at with here? New dish type, new flavor combo. Why are you not a space? Could not parse singleton. What are you angry with, cookbook? It says it could not parse you. Yeah, that's okay. Let's see. We have up here our dictionary dishes and types. Tutorial dish. Yeah. It's kind of... This one's a little bit tricky. They are not able to work because they're both broken, because they both rely on the other guy. It's like, hey, I can't update because this guy's broken. Hey, I can't update because this guy's broken. What am I supposed to do? Let's see, save you here. Save you here. Are you good now? They figured it out. They decided upon an agreement Okay. All right. And thank you to, is it Admilla? Admilla. No. Admia. That's my guess. I can try again, but welcome into stream. Welcome in, and thank you for the follow. Currently, the thing's not working with the pow update, new follower. So thank you, and welcome into stream. And chatting can be way to avoid going crazy over coding. Oh yeah, it can certainly keep the nice vibes, so it doesn't get too I need to pull out my hair sort of feels. Usually, I don't get that way. Thankfully, it's more of a thing of just I am tired, I am drained, I am defeated, I need rest. That's usually where I go with things. So let's see. Could not find flavor combo. Well, good sir, all you need to do is look in cookbook, as everything's getting moved to cookbook. So let's grab you here, cookbook, dot. Now, we're gonna run the code and see where we need to fix things. As usually, when you're moving things around, it gets angry. It's not getting angry. That's a little scary. Okay, you know what? I'm going to delete flavor box. Delete this guy. I believe is just saying things because I'm trying to remove stuff while we're in the game. So if I go ahead and delete our description box, now that we know it's working. Yep, and that also needs to be F. There you go. Okay, let's see if it'll let me make a spell and add already. My goodness, the time is flying by, isn't it? Okay, we'll do a quick check. I think we can do it in the 5 minutes we have. So we go back into the kitchen. We grab our 2 flavors. This should give us a bitter cocoa, for example. That's what the flavor combos do. You grab 2 of these guys, mix them together, and that is the recipe. So if I go ahead and combine these guys together, it'll pop up the minigame. I can skip the minigame because I have cool permissions, and we create a bitter cocoa. So good, it does work. The flavor combos have been replaced and moved. Now we just need to move the dish. We need to make dish, the class, into dish profile. And dish itself will turn into an enum, like what we did for flavor. So that's next up on the agenda. But first, we'll go ahead and have the ads do their ad thing, and I'll go ahead and save the game again as we slowly update things. That way, if we need to go back, take a step back, we always have that option available. So I'll go ahead and say flavor combo moved to cookbook, because that was originally what cookbook was. But as I expanded on the code, I made them their own classes. And I'm realizing now, for what I wanted, I think calling them profiles is a better option instead of their types, because it's a profile. It's supposed to represent something. And my way is, okay, let's drop this and rest. Yeah, that's the thing. I usually, if I can't figure something out, I'm better off relaxing, chillaxing for a little bit, going to take, like, for example, a bath, or take a walk, or watch a show, or play a game. And usually that winding down time allows me to take my mind off of it for a little bit and then be okay to go. Saying that, we'll go ahead and have the ads run, and then we'll get into refactoring or updating the dish so that this guy is turned not into a, oh, hold on. Oh, I don't know about that one. Our dish is, okay, I'll wait, but I'm seeing a problem with changing out dish. So I'm not sure. Maybe it won't be a good idea, but we'll see. Yeah, well, we'll see. We will see, certainly. I'll go ahead and get some of my drink, though, and some water. Okie dokie. And then some juice as well. And here. Okay. I'm all hydrated, so let's do a few stretches too. So let's see. First off, by going a little bit to the right. And then we're gonna go a little bit to the left. And then we're gonna go a little bit backwards. Then a little bit forward. Make sure for your head, you turn to the right. Want to turn a little bit to the left. And, oh, I've never seen that beam before, I think. Then again, not so ever good. Is it Kiefer, maybe? Kiefer? Welcome into stream. Hello. And cool flavor combos sound like a hard data structure to manage. Thankfully, they're not. I can show you how I do them. Let me finish the stretches, but thankfully, they're not too bad. I figured out a system. Let's see. We were going to the left, then we were going to the right, and we're going down, and we're going up, and then breaking necks, and then head tilt to the side. Head tilt to the other side. And then we do head right here. And then head left. Alrighty, I feel refreshed and stretched. How I'm currently handling it is I go to Firearms Business Ad Hoc. Well, welcome back in. And hey, Eris, do you have a short answer for when to use load and when preload? No, I still don't understand those. From my understanding, preloaded is loaded once the scene is entered. Loaded is used on demand. And usually when it comes to loading things or creating things, you want to do it before you get to where you need it. So that's why usually for game maps, for example, they won't have enemies just be spawned. Maybe they have them off the map so they can take a copy instead of creating them over and over. So maybe that's the difference between load and preload, where these guys are instantly preloaded once the game is loaded, instead of spawning, which I think would be more comparable to load. And preload can only use hard-coded strings, not variables. Interesting. Preload can only use hard-coded strings, I think. Guesses are always nice. So, to answer the question about and also, welcome back from the outbreaks. Welcome in. Let me show you pretty quickly how I'm currently holding out for our flavor combos, as that was one thing I wanted to make sure I got correct. Let me go into Obsidian here and just put everything into resource loaders as a global auto load. And fetch it from there while organized and clean. You don't. And also, you don't want to load in runtime if possible. Yeah, loading in runtime because it's not good for optimization. That's why there's also loading screens where everything I think would be preloaded, right? And yeah. I think I understand. I've never seen a resource loader as a global auto load though. I might have to look into that. That one sounds super duper interesting. So let's see. How I currently store it, was it Kefir or Kefir? How flavor combos currently work is I have this chart here. You could think of it like it was a multiplication table in, Google Sheets. And anytime I want to add a new flavor, I would put it on this chart. And I go for each cell here and add the different variants. So for example here, there's sweet here and sweet here. And when combined, they create sweet. And then bitter and bitter. So anytime I want to modify them or add to them, for example, another flavor that's going to be in the game is salty. So I would add salty there. I would also add salty here. And then I would add their combinations here. And then from there, all I have to do is I just have to parse that data. And I figured out a way to parse everything, which is nice. So anytime I want to modify any of the flavor combos or the flavors themselves, I do it from here. And then I just download it and then upload it into the game. So I don't have to worry about that side of it. If anything, something else I would have to do is, if I go back into here, is if we just take, for example, in our cookbook or flavor, these guys here, I would also have to add the flavor combos, which might be a little bit tricky because in the end, I plan to have 10 flavors. Right now, there are 3, and so there's a total of, I believe, 7 flavor combos because there's no opposites. So if it's sweet bitter, there's no bitter sweet. So it's gonna be probably, if I had to guess, maybe 70 of these items, just taking an eyeball. So it's gonna be a little bit tricky, but hopefully it won't be too bad. But that's how the current system is for flavor combos. Now, I wasn't sure about dishes because unlike flavors, which are what's the best way to describe it? Unlike flavors, which are not an object in the game, well, they technically are, I believe. Hold on. Let me grab you here. And if I grab flavor profile, where are we at? Flavor profile. Let's see. Flavor profile. I'm not spelling this correctly, apparently. Profile. I'm just gonna go here. Flavor. Oh, you're not spelled flavor profile yet, are you? I see. Yeah, this is a node 2D. And my question is, I don't even think it needs to be a node 2D, but this is just storing data. If I rename you, because you're supposed to be flavor _ profile, so this is not an object in the game. Unlike dish, which is an object in the game. You pick it up, you move it around, all things of that nature. But I do have an object that represents flavors in the game. And to make things a little bit easier to hopefully explain, if I go into the game and you go into Godot here, so you here, and then you here, go into here super duper quickly, I can spawn in a dish. This is this guy here. This guy is a sweet cookie. And this dish is a physical item in the game. And currently, we have, this is a dish. A dish is interactable. And then I have a separate thing, which are items. And these items are parts of the dish. So if I go into the shelf, you can see there's these guys. And the idea is that you would grab one of them, two of them on here, and you would also grab the product. So whatever you want to make. In this case, I believe that's a sweet. So it would actually be more so sweet. But these guys aren't the flavor class. So I'm wondering, because right now, all four of these guys are not the same. This guy is different than these guys. And that's because initially, only this existed. But then I made a new system and I made these guys. So is it a question of just keeping them separate? Or is it worth the effort to merge them together so that they're more similar? Because they're all objects in the game. They just work a little bit differently. And let's see. I just read that. And I have it like this, but I never use preload because I don't know. Yeah, preload I'm learning. And what file type to use to export to? Yeah, CSV, and then I turn it into JSON. So it's a bit of a funny, wonky conversion. But for example, if I do combo, I should be able to show you. Yeah, I take the CSV and then I merge it, and then I grab the two guys that are usually the base and the suite, and then I just parse through the data like a map or a dictionary. So let's see, let me close you here. So my question is it worth the effort of going through it? Because right now we have items, and that's cool. Might have to learn from this. Hold on. If I do, let's see. The flavor combos is a little bit hard to explain because of dictionaries. If I go into here, I can show you what I mean. Flavor combo, where are we at? Parse flavor combo data. You know what? You're not too bad. You're not too bad. Okay, I take it back. Maybe I cleaned this up and I didn't remember, which is good too. But for example here, once it's converted into a JSON, and this is just our flavors. So if I grab flavor here, just as an example, you would take your flavor data. So flavor, let's see, flavor data. And if I double click on this guy, I should be able to see it. Yep. And if I go into Obsidian as well, just to show you what's showing up on here. So our flavor data, let's take, for example, our necromancer. On here, what I do is I have type, wizard, description, attribute, and color. And then I fill all of these guys in. So for our necromancer, for example, the flavor type is bitter, the wizard necromancer, the description is just a string, and the attribute string 2, and then I have a color, which is a hex color. And why these guys are capitals is because they're enums. It doesn't say that. The game, if I were to, for example, do this, it's gonna give me an error. So I have to be very careful when I'm in here to make sure it spells correctly. But from here, I turn this sheet into a JSON. And once it's been converted, so once it's been converted from our CSV and turned into a JSON, then we go into here and it turns into looking like this. So we have type, bitter, wizard, necromancer, description, all of these guys. In all, this is just a string dictionary. So now what you have to do is you have to convert this dictionary into actual values that you need to use. And that's where my flavor parser comes into play. So if I go in here, let's see, flavor parser, and we go into parse flavor data, what I'm doing is I'm first taking those strings, and this guy is just a string, so I just grab the whatever is in this dictionary. So these are just the keys of the dictionary. And then, for example, I set the color with an actual color using the string of the color. And for our flavor, I would grab this guy, grab the type, and set it through enums, and turning enums into strings and strings into enums. So hopefully that's a little bit handy, as I have been enjoying the system. It's been super helpful, especially for example, cases where I'm going to need a lot of spells and words. And if I go into my spell data, you can see camping all of the data here would be super duper head hurting. So what I've done instead is, again, I've just made a spreadsheet and I download it. So everything stays here. And if I go into spell list, you should be able to see, yeah, you can see product. So what is it being used for? Our flavor combo, and then our verses of the flavor. And that makes it pretty easier to do, easier to keep in here as well, because I can also color them, make them easier to see, and then I just download and convert. Once you figure out the conversion method, it shouldn't be too bad. Saying that, let me go into programming here. Okie dokie. So from that, let me hold and close you. We don't need spell, we don't need map parser, we don't need, well, do we need you? Okay, so I was saying is that we have these things called items. Items are different than dishes. Items are incomplete objects, I guess you could say. I'm trying to figure out what would be the best way to describe it. It is an interactable, and an interactable is an object in the world that can be picked up by entities. If we go back into concepts here, hopefully I can explain it a little bit better. And let's see, preload will store the resources into memory when the script's loaded and saved for futures by others. Yeah. Preload, you do it a little bit early, and then load is doing it at that moment. From my understanding. Let's see. I'll go ahead and erase this, guys. We don't need you anymore. No, thank you, Triangle Man. I'll go ahead and write down. So, currently in my game, I have a upper class called Interactables. 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 And of these interactables, they are, let's see, objects in the world that can be picked up by enemies. And for that guy, I won't write it out. No, I'll spare you the handwriting. Instead, I'll just do this. Oh, hold on, like that. Here we are. An object in the world that can be picked up by enemies. And currently, there are a few things on this list. We have dishes, D-I-S-H-E-S, dishes. And we also have items, I-T-E-M, items. And my question is, can these guys be one of the same? Right now, you can have a product item. Let's see. I'll do this color, P-R-O-D-U-C-T. And then we also have flavor. So flavor, F-L-A-V-O-R. And what I'm wondering is it worth it to instead do something like this? Where items, or I say like this, I didn't do anything. Hold on, move you here, copy you here, and instead, so either this, what it is currently, or what we can do is make you smaller, move you here, oh, not like that, move you over here, make you purple, and then drag a little, oh, well, I'll just copy you, undo move, paste you, like that. Right now, the system is like this, where they're separate, but they essentially do the same thing, I think. Currently, the only thing items do is you can interact with them, and they have functions for interaction. So maybe it is worth it to keep dishes separated, since dishes have a few different functions, or at least, interesting, okay. Flavor does different things than dishes, but flavor has a flavor profile. So what I'm thinking is, dishes stay an object, but they have a profile instead. Because right now, our item has that flavor profile. Now, if we go back into programming here, I can kind of show you what I mean. Where if we go into interactable, it has a follow as a target, bounce, and modifier. And then it also has a collect function for when something is collected. A new target is set and followed. So when you pick up the object, or when you pick up the interactable, or when you put it down, things of that nature is what that collect means. And in our item, we have just the look of it. It's item, interactable, and it just has a look to it. That's it. That's all this guy is. But when you go into dish, so something that's also an interactable, you can see there's a little bit more to it. For example, the sprites, there's bowls going on here as well. There's values for it, which isn't like item. And it also has functions to check. And it also has collect like item does. And, oh, well, interactable does because it's overriding that collect. So my question is it worth it to combine them? Or is it worth it to keep them separate? Is there going to be a case where I would regret a decision of doing so? Because at the moment, I want to not work as hard as I need to. I want to try to do this as minimally as possible. Because if I try to go over and beyond, and I go over and beyond for each single thing I find, we're gonna be here for years, ages, eons, and I don't have time for that. Not one bit. So, is it worth it to explore the option? Or is it fine to just say, that's probably not a good idea, or it's not the option I want? That's what I'm wondering at the moment. And as I'm seeing all of these things, to separate dish, or at least the name of dish, because dish is here, I'm thinking we can just maybe remove the type. we can change type to maybe product, because dish is a product and 2 flavors together. I think I'm good with that. And maybe do it once there's a clear benefit. Right now, the benefit is just, what is it? I don't want to say common sense. Because everything, it's like saying, oh, option A is 1, option B is 2, option C is 3. So you would think option D is 4, but then it's like 48. And it's fine, but it's not what's expected. And I think a good medium would be removing dish type, because I've used this everywhere but the dish itself. Anytime I've referred to the dish type, I call it product, but we never actually use product. We always say dish type, because there's a difference between dish and product. And I think that's a good idea. Instead of removing the dish type from dish, we're gonna remove the dish type from dish, but do it a little bit differently. Which is to say, I'm thinking what we'll do is we'll remove item, we'll remove save view, yep. We'll remove interactable, we'll remove flavor profile. Huh. Okay, well, give me dish back. I want it back. We're not done yet. Dish here, and we're also gonna go in our cookbook. Like that. And in our cookbook, we're going to, instead of this type, call it product. And anywhere we use dish.type, we're going to use dish.product, because the product is different than the dish. The dish is the completed item, but to make a dish, you need a product and 2 flavors. But never do I talk about the product in the code, and I only talk about it sometimes, but not everywhere. So I think calling this item product is a little bit better. Dish.product. I think that works better because it's everywhere. And hydrate, sure.
Larry the Slap just
Larry the
redeemed
Slap.
hydrate.
Welcome into stream, and thank you for the redeem. Let me get some water then. Hydrate before I dehydrate. Let's see. Okie dokie. Water has been taken. Thank you again for the redeem. Saying that, yeah, I like that idea. So instead of dish.type, it's gonna be different. I can do Control-Shift-F, which should find everything anytime I use dish.type, and then I'm going to replace it. And we use this guy in 48 places, which is fine. Instead of dish.type, it's going to be cookbook.product, like that. And then we're going to do replace all. Anywhere dish.type is used, replace all. And if I click refresh, yep. Now it's saying it's failing to load the script, which is A-okay. So let's see, where exactly are you angry? We have flavor combo, flavor type. I should just be able to do you here, and then product, P-R-O-D-U-C-T. This guy should also not have to be any of those equals, since they'll do it on their own like that. So that should be good to go. And why not category? Product sounds like Coca-Cola instead of carbonated drink. Dish category. Well, the thing is, it's like, I will have different drinks. So it's like cocoa, there's hot cocoa, or we'll just say coffee. If I say coffee category versus coffee product, that's an interesting one. Let's see. Product sounds like Coca-Cola instead of carbonated drink. That's silly too. And just make sure the check is easy to do, preferably via group name, so change is easy to do in the object later on if needed. Could you elaborate a little bit? Is it Feref? I can try again, but that's my guess. Let's see. I use product everywhere though, but I never actually said it as an enum. I think this will clear it up though. So a dish has a product. I think that works out better than type. Let's see here. Why are you angry? Type to string. Cookbook.product. Type to string isn't a constant expression. We really don't need, I know I was gonna get rid of these guys later, but you're not needed. Sure. If you're happy there, we're happy there. And then here, cookbook.product, okay? Then for here, why are we angry? Identifier type is not declared in the current scope. Yep. This type now can be changed to product, P-R-O-D-U-C-T. And I think just because of the typing or the naming conventions I'm already using, calling it product instead sets the idea that it is not the completed thing. It is just the output. The dish is the completed part. This is the type. That's why it was called the type. But I think product works a little bit better, because dish versus dish type, was really confusing, but calling it dish, product, flavor, they're different, which I think helps a lot. So let's see, new type, we're going to call new product, P-R-O-D-U-C-T, and hi, Gologamoth. Wait, no, Golomogoth, right? I think that's a little bit better. Welcome industry, welcome in. And who's happy? We're happy. Welcome in. Let's see, new product, that's going to go here. And then we have new type, so you're going to go here. And then we have name string. Yep. And why are you angry? Nah, you said it right. Which one? The first time or the second time? Hold on now. Well, let's see. The name is set depending on what type of dish it is. Now this type should be cookbook.product. So cookbook.product. Like that. And hi, Eska. Welcome into stream. Welcome in. And first time I see someone full confidence on the replace all. Go bigger, go home. I have confidence because I save every 5 minutes. That is the only reason. Because we've already finished doing our flavor profile, now we're updating the dish. Once this is done, I'm saving it again. I save on anytime we start something new, or anytime we finish a big step. That way I can always go back if I do mess up. I found that doing big changes is a lot easier to go back and do some of revert it than going a little bit here, peppering them around us. Depending on how big the code is, it could be, and first one, Golgamoth then? Was that it? And man, if I could save Scum real life, I would also be confident. Yeah. Oh, wait, I think what we're talking about, let's save scumming. Let's see. Okay. Now, I'm gonna guess it's gonna be angry, which again, is okay. We can work through this, Godot, or you could also not be angry. I'm a little afraid now. You're angry at this point. The fact that you're keeping your cool is a little bit scary, you know. It's okay to have emotions. You don't have to do this alone. This is a little weird. Okay, you know what? It's fine. Maybe I did it right the first time. That doesn't happen. So now I'm a little worried. Let's see. We'll grab our flavor, and you can see even in the game itself, I use the word product, but I use dish type in the code, which always made it a little bit confusing. So instead, calling them products because they're already called products. If I made them category, then the product word I use here would have to be changed to category. So I think going with products because I already use it to describe these guys, it's a little bit easier. So we'll make a bitter coffee. And if I just try the game out, hold down Q, does the game work? Aha. Oh, hold on. Dish.type. Some of these guys are angry. That's okay. Let's see. For dish.type, find replace. We only use it here. You're going to be cookbook. Oh, hold on. Cookbook.product. Cookbook.product. Like that. And then for here, dish type. Yep. And if we go back to dish here, up here, our type is going to be product. So dish.product instead. So var dish product. So find replace dish underscore product, P-R-O-D-U-C-T, dish product, replace all, and then dish dot product. There you are. Okay, try again. I'm glad a little bit because that means something did go a little bit off. Let's see. You. Alrighty, game. We have our flavor A, flavor B. We can go ahead and add the product in. So bitter coffee, or cocoa. Gotta add coffee in here one of these days. Now we're back to here, dish.flavor combo. Sure, that's okay. You're going to be dish.product. And do we ever use dish. Let's see, close you. I'm going to do Control-Shift-F, find for this guy. Find anytime else we use this guy. Okay, dish.type. I want to Control-Shift-Find, and then we're going to replace. And this dish is going to be dish.product. So replace all. I'm also confident because the code base is not that big. Thankfully, it's bad. It's just not bad. It's getting there though. If I just continue building code on top of my duct tapey code, then I would be concerned. But because what I have currently is still small, I'm okay. And the thing about compulsively saying type save. Have I been saying that? And chat, am I weird for liking people saying var out loud? I like the way it sounds. Var. Kind of sounds like a pirate. Let's see. If you hear product here. Oh, there we go. Oh, hold on. Yep, you here. Hold down Q. Now, how are we feeling today, Godot? Well, I think we're good to go. Though, I'm gonna wonder where this node guy is. This is why I've been using the, the prints. The prints are sometimes hard to track down. I don't know where that print guy came from, but that guy shouldn't be there. Something's up with that guy. Don't want him there. And I don't want to leave everywhere around. I can tell where these guys are coming from. But you do not belong, I say. That's good. I think the game works. Let's try to make a sweet coffee or cocoa. I really do need that coffee, don't I? You there, and let's do sweet. Hold down Q, and we got, let's see, sweet, good. And the textures are also working as they should. Good, lovely. So it seems that refactoring is good to go. Love to see it. I'm telling you, it feels scary in the moment, but when you do it small increments, it's not too bad. And hi, that terrible dev. Welcome into stream. What an interesting name. Welcome in. Let's see. So now that it is not breaking, we're going to go ahead and save. Oh boy, I hope your day's been well though. Let's see. Go ahead and go here, and now I will say product turn to dish. Product turn to dish. There we go. Commit and sync. Lovely. Good. Okay, so let's go ahead and close these guys again. Remember, we initially started and then we went down a whole pathway. We initially started at the top section and we were looking at data. And in this data, we already cleared it. And I can also open up the Obsidian again to give you a reminder on where we're at in refactoring. If I go into our refactor list here, you can see we have, if I also slide this guy over so I can see him as well, we already looked through audio, we already looked through data, and let me just double check because I think we added to it. Yep. Next up, we looked through flavors, and this is where we just spent some time modifying flavor. So now that flavor has become a flavor profile instead, which I like a lot better. And let's see, I'm going to say, now I can have a description because I wasn't sure what to call it before. This is let's see, the data of the flavor. Data of flavor. Something like that. I think that works better. Data of flavor profile. Yeah, the flavor profile is the data of the flavor. That's what profile is going to mean to this code. As manager means something that spawns and deletes stuff, and parser means it loads code and deletes code, or yeah, loads and deletes, or just reads stuff. I think that works out well. So one more check through this guy. We have variables, we have initializer. Usually they say you do double enter for these guys, but I think that's what's the word I'm looking for. I think pedantic? That'd be a little bit, let's see. Pedantic. Pedantic. Log dense and, no. It says precise. What does this mean when someone's pedantic? Too focused on too much minor details. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for then. A little bit too pedantic. You know if, do you know if the Godot on Google Play Store for tablet is official? By the way, sorry for the random question. No worries. If I can answer a question, I'd love to. The answer is, I have no idea. I haven't tried using Godot on anywhere but the computer, but I have heard before about Godot mobile. But I would look into it a little bit more. I don't know the details, but it's not something foreign. Like, it's something I have heard of before. It's not unfortunately I can't give you an answer, but that's as good as an answer I can give you. I have no clue, but it does sound somewhat familiar. So let's see here. We have set flavor, we have set wizard, enter you here, enter you here, enter you here, set color, print data message, variables, all of those guys. I think it's safe to say our flavor profile is complete. So we'll go ahead, open up Obsidian and then go back to you here. And so instead, or rather, oh, you know what? We don't even need this flavor guy anymore because it's a profile. So if I go ahead and hide Obsidian U here, go into U. Do we have a profile on here? We don't. Okay, that's fine. I'll just make a new folder and we're going to call it instead profile. Profiles, profiles. And then from there, we're going to put you in there, profiles. That makes way more sense, I think. And it's just my laptop's broken and I can't afford a new one. I see. I would certainly look into it. I know pixel art programs for mobile, but not Godot itself, unfortunately. But I do hope you find a solution. I know sometimes libraries let you download programs, so maybe that could be an option too. Let's see. So profiles has flavor profile and then flavor description box. Yeah. So now you don't really belong anywhere. That's okay. Sometimes it just is what it is. So we'll modify you in just a quick second. Let's see. What I'll go ahead and do is see about parser, and then I'll do profiles here, Profiles, and we'll do flavor profile, Profile, and then I'll go ahead and just check you off. There we are. Okay, so let's see. Where can this flavor description box go? This is a UI. This is a UI element, so I would feel comfortable putting it in a UI place. And if we scroll down here, there are spell UI assets. There are screens, so cafe screen, spellcasting screen. So I'm thinking we can do UI as a folder and then do it a little bit differently. So for example, here I'm thinking UI as just a big folder. And usually if it's visual, so if it's anything to do with visual assets, I tend to make the color yellow. Sometimes, and it seems here I made the assets for audio. Yeah, I'm thinking you should be a different color. Yellow's for other assets. You know what? You're orange audio. How about that? Yeah, orange. As UI, things that are visual are usually yellow. So I'll make that. And then what we'll say is we will grab our flavor description box and drag and drop you into here. Never mind, that did not drag and drop you. There we are. Okay. And then I'm also going to add a folder here just to be on the safe side. And we're going to do create new folder, and we're going to call it flavor. Oh, hold on. Flavor. Description, flavor description box. There we are. Okay. And I'll just drag and drop these guys into here. And I'm also going to drop our spell UI assets into there. And we will modify you a little bit later. How about that? Okay. And then from there, all I'll do is I'll modify our current checklist to reflect this. So for example, here we have spell UI assets. No longer. Now we have UI. And in our UI, we have our flavor description, Description box. And then we have our spell UI assets. So since we're already on the flavor description box, let's take a look at this guy now that we've updated him so that it has the correct data. Let's see if there's anything else we need to modify. Usually when it comes to UI, I don't worry too much about the individual portions. So for example, here, this line separator or the labels, not too much, because I use so many of them. It gets to a point where all of them having different names doesn't really help too much. All I really need to worry about are the labels and the box name itself. The panels, the panel containers, the rectangles, things of that nature. Not too important since I'm not really using it. This is a lot of temporary UI, it's not the permanent one. So in the future, when we do go back and update these guys, they'll be there. We have the color, we have everything else. Let's do one more check over the code. But if that's good to go, then this flavor description box is good to go. So let's see. We have up here our description label, our class label, and our name label. Good. We have color rectangle, which is the color here. And this is temporary, said every programmer ever. But it's true! Oh boy. The thing is, I am trying my best to be as open-ended as possible because it is the prototype. I'm trying my best to make sure I don't marry myself to an idea. I don't know if something's going to be fun until I add it to the game. Because what I think will be fun when added could be really super duper boring. So everything's just maybe, mayhaps, something. So let's see here. Color rectangle on ready. We were updating the flavor. Let's not do that anymore. That's no longer needed because we're not testing. We just update all of these guys and their colors. That's A-okay to do. Color rectangle, flavor profile. All of those guys are good to go. Update by flavor. Let's see. Now you can change a little bit. Update by flavor. I don't like that. Let's do update by flavor profile. So I'll go ahead and do underscore and then PROFILE. Or hold on, Control Shift F. Fine. That guy when we use him. There we go. Okay. Update by flavor underscore profile. And anytime we use this function, so we use it here, and we're going to do you here, and then we're going to do you here, and then do let's see, you there, and then you. Okay. So that should be good to go. I like that wording better. Update by flavor profile. And then we give it the flavor profile. Then from there, we're going to see about, well, I could see it also be updating by flavor, and you give the flavor, and I think this is clearer, but anytime we call this function, we're going to have to use, for example, let's see, flavor parser dot, and then we're gonna have to make sure we do flavor to profile. So I think a little bit differently, and I gotta go by. No worries, no worries. I hope you have a lovely one. Let's see. So in fact, I'm gonna go back on what I just said before, and it's going to be update by flavor, and we're going to modify it in here. Update by flavor, and flavor to description. Yeah. Instead, we're going to grab the flavor here, and we're gonna do whatever we need to. So flavor to description. Yep. And spell manager dot flavor to description. Now, index the flavor. Yep. And we're just gonna remove these. So we're grabbing the flavor, and we're gonna modify it in the code. Hi, Mohammed. Welcome to the stream. Welcome in. How's life? I'm feeling a lot better than I have these past few days. And is class, wizard, and customer pretty much the same thing? They all seem to be used here and there. Let me remove these guys, and then I can explain a little bit. If I remove you here, let's see, index the flavor. Yep. And I remove you here. Flavor to description. Now that's what I'm curious about. What's this? Oh, it won't let me know. Never mind then. That's fine. I'll just remove you here, and remove you here, like that. Save you here, and then we'll go back into here. Now, you were asking class, wizard, and customer. Not quite. The idea is that we have customers, C-U-S-T-O-M-E-R, customers here, which are their own class, and we have customer profile, so the look of the customer themselves. Different customers are going to want different things. The profile is their data, you could consider it. So we take the class of customer, the base of the customer, and depending on what kind of customer it is, we just change out the profile. And okay, good. Oh, that's good to hear. I hope life is going good for you too, or at least decent. And it's on the up and up. Let's see. And wizard, as for wizard, the reason why I use wizard is because if I go into our customer profile, so let's see, customer profile, this guy here, the reason I use customer profile instead of wizard profile is because it's dealing with the customer. This is what it's assigned to. And I just joined I joined the Discord server. Ah, well, welcome in. And hello. How are you? Oh, that was only one. Well, still, hello to you. How are you doing? I just got recommended this channel. I'm interested in what game you're making. Hi, Catalyst. Welcome into stream. I'm glad you asked. Give me 1 second, and I can show you what I'm currently working on. But welcome into the stream, Catalyst. I'm glad the algorithm brought you here. The reason why is because we have a type here, which is the type of wizard it is. And that's where the profile comes into play. So I feel like I'm seeing a little bit of a pattern with the type ideas, but I don't think it's too bad because we have the type for the profile, and then we have different variables like when it comes to their patience meter, patience level, their order patience, their waiting patience, different things like that. So what I can go ahead and do is if I go into, let's see, prototype level here, prototype level, I'll turn off, or not prototype, we want level, let's see, sandbox level. We'll turn off debugging. Just the customers walk normally, and curse you, pass 3. Oh boy. Alrighty, welcome to Necrotype Cafe, a rhythm typing cafe game. If you'd like to try out the prototype yourself, it is currently up on itch. Though again, it's a prototype, so it might break. Let's see, Necrotype. Well, like that. If I go ahead and turn off the music here, let's see, and I go ahead and enable the music here, it should be audible. Good, lovely to see. Okay, so the idea behind the game is if we go into levels here and go into the tutorial, you play as the scout here, Gabriella, and you're hold on. Let's see, why are you angry? Dish type, current dish. I'm just gonna do product. Hold on, PRODUCT. Yep. Was that from refactoring? Hold on. Okay, where was I? Welcome back to the Necrotype Cafe, a rhythm typing cafe game where you play as the necromancer. This lady here, Gabriella. And if the game does not break... Now what? Type to string. Oh, this is old code too. Type to string. Where are you angry at? Cookbook, type to string, customer desired dish type. Yeah. Okay, hold on. One more time. Type to string, desired dish. This is going to be cookbook.product. And then it's going to be find underscore key. And then it is going to be you. Get over here. Move you over here. Yep, that guy there. The guy I thought I didn't need to delete yet. It happened to be I did need to, or I missed him spot. Okay. How are we doing now? Oh, code coming back to bite. Oh, it hurts. And Ray for you to start demoing in the middle of refactoring. I'm a risk taker. I think. Good. Knock on wood. The idea is that it's a cafe sim. So you have a customer here, and the customers, you take their order. So if this customer goes ahead and it zooms over and it decides on what dish to order, it'll read through its book. And once it's ready, we take their order, or grab the menu, and if I hold on space, you know what? I'm going to show you the public version on currently open on the itch. So let me just bring you into here, since it seems to be the case. An only interesting coding stream I found. Hi, is it that Astro Gamer? Welcome into stream. Welcome to anytime you want to show off what cool thing you're working on, it decides not to work, and I'm dying now. Help! Why am I freezing? Am I good? Are we good? All right, take 552. Let's try it again. I'll go ahead, make sure the music is here and true. Don't worry. Oh gosh, of course. The thing is, mistakes are welcomed around here. That just leaves room for improvement. Let me calibrate the game. So let's see, space, 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 space. Calibration is complete. Now let's give it a whirl. Let's see. No, hold on. 0.07. Is that going to break my game? I don't believe so. I think we're in the clear. Okay. Back into the tutorial. Gabriella here. She can walk around. Customers, they'll walk in here. They'll find a seat and they'll sit down and they'll order something. So we'll wait. They're reading. They're done reading. We can go ahead and take their order. Holding down space now that there is no longer a black box appearing. You can see there are some funny symbols going on here. We have a pink, a purple, and a kind of symbol that looks like this. These different symbols stand for different things in the game, and the idea is that each flavor is associated with different wizards and different colors. In our case, we are a necromancer. The flavor associated with necromancer is bitter, and the color is purple. And as you go on in the game, new customers or new wizards will come into the place, and you'll get new flavors, new ideas, new combinations. The setting is a wizard academy, and you are a necromancer going there because your family wants you to go become a necromancer, but you don't want to be a necromancer. You want to be a wizard. You want to be a chef. So you use your magic that you already know, and you're creating new magic, which is your baking, cooking magic. And if I go into here, you can see there's currently 2 flavors available. So your bitter, which is your necromancer flavor, the sweet one, which is supposed to be a healer wizard I'm working the name on, which is medimancer. So we'll grab our sweet flavor, we'll grab our bitter flavor, and we want a cake. So let's go ahead and grab the cake from the products, like so. And if we hold down Q, it should start spellcasting. And if we click here, you can see, once the letters reach the white circle, that's when you have to type it, as it is a rhythm typing cafe game. So instead of mixing ingredients together, you have to cast a spell. You do that via poetry, and you have to type out a poem to the beat of the music. And the hope is that music will be associated with different flavors, different wizard types, different themes, but at the moment, because it's in prototype, a lot of things are just temporary. So let's see, once that guy hits there, if this meter fills up, then that means that your spell is complete. So this is your progress. And then this guy here, if this fills up, then the game is over. You have missed too many things. So you want this guy to get bigger, that guy to get smaller. Alrighty, are you ready? So if I click close here, let's see how well I do. B-E-W-A-R-E space T-H-E space J-A-B-B-E-R W-O-C-K comma space M-Y space S-O and space T-H-E space J-A-W-S space T. That is not the words. Yeah, I'm not dead. That's the important part. Okay. E comma space T-H-E space C-L-A-W-S. Easy peasy. 55%, you can ignore that. We made the cake. That's what matters. And then we just, we take this cake, we give it to the customer's happy. As long as the customer's happy, it doesn't really matter if we got a 55%. No. And the customer will go on their merry way. That's the current game in a nutshell. I plan to add extra features. What we're doing is that we're spending this month refactoring. Oh boy, if AAA games freeze during streaming, you can be rest assured. Oh boy, you can rest assured. I'm hoping this game won't be performance heavy. It's supposed to be a small game, not too big. Because it's my second game. Haven't made many games. Only one game. And I'm not dead. Hashtag goals. Attempts are always getting made. And it looks fun. You're really passionate about your game, aren't you? Yeah. I'm super excited. I've always been a fan of both rhythm games, restaurant sims. So I wanted to do something as if I go to that guy there, I should be able to show. Yeah, I can. Look at that. Let me hide this guy. Show this guy here. This game, Necrotype Cafe, is a refreshing of a game, a final project game I made on for college. I went to college for game design, but I ended up dropping out about 2 to 3 years in because I didn't enjoy it, and we didn't get to work in game engines. It was only in the Visual Studio, the IDE. So I took this guy, a game I made in the console, and I decided, you know what? For my game, I'm gonna choose this guy, but do this. And I added in the idea of rhythm because I thought, wouldn't that be fun? Because you have speed demons on the keyboard, but I didn't want it to be a test of skill when it comes to speed. So I added in the rhythm part to slow people down. It sounds like I messed people up. I've been told many times they've been scarred. Oh boy. I didn't realize how much of the game is funny until now. What do you mean exactly, Mohammed? Saying that though, let me bring it back into our programming screen here. Hope you enjoyed though, and let me go ahead. I should be able to mute this guy since the music isn't double autoing. Let me get some water, and then we can continue, as I don't know which part of this made the refactoring make it black, but you know what? It's okay. We'll figure it out, and then we'll save again, and then we'll go all over again. Let's see. And what do you use to code your games? I'm using Godot. Godot's the only engine I know of. The first game was made in Godot, and this game's also made in Godot, the most updated version. And Godot recently got updated the other day, which is really neat. Let me get some water. I haven't ever tried Unity or... Hold on, my nose! Am I good? I'm good. I haven't ever tried Unity or Unreal before, so I can't really give an opinion on them. Godot just caught my interest because it's open source and it's also pretty colorful, and you know, I quite like colors. I don't know if you can tell. Saying that though, let's see if we can figure out why the icon isn't doing the icon thingy majingy. If we go, let's see, I'll click play. For some reason, the icon just wasn't loading properly. If I mute you and go into, let's see, Godot here, do about you there, and then you there, you should be able to see the game now. We'll go into here, go into you, go ahead and spawn in a customer. Unless the cheats don't work. Hold on. Let's see, sandbox level. Do you have cheats enabled? You should have cheats enabled, and yet you're not enabled. Weird. Interesting. That's enabled, but we can't do debug stuff. Interesting. That's okay. That's all right. We can just have this guy spawn in again. I can figure out why that is. Seems like, you know, maybe some parts broke, some parts not, but that's okay. It'll be fine. Let's see. Once the customer's ready to order, and customers are just a bit shy, just a little bit, they don't want me summoning them for some odd reason. You know, I can't figure out why. Let's see. Hold on space and this. So for some reason, the icon isn't getting set, which is okay. I think I know why. If we go into our, let's see, our cafe here, and we go into, hold on, close you here, go back into you here. So that does work. Let's go into our, let's see, advanced, right? So where we set the dish at, our product sprite scene. Where are you at? Product, that's good to go. And if we do, let's see, product, we go into not our icon, our advanced sprite scene. This guy here, this code here. Aha. Is it you? Possibly, mayhaps, perchance. Let's see. And I don't know if you turned it back on. You turned off debugging, I think, when you did the demonstration. Maybe, hold on. Let's see. Sandbox. This should be the level, sandbox level. Oh. No. Debugging's new. Never mind, we're good. Debugging's something different. Debugging's a new guy I added so that the customers know super speed run. If I need to quickly run through a level, that shouldn't change anything. The enable cheats one is the one. Usually I just have to press the tilde key and the cheat menu pops up, but it's not popping up. And I don't know why. that is a little concerning. This is also another cheat where I can just teleport. Another cheat is I can complete a level without doing anything. So this guy works, which means it's something to do with this guy here. And I'm not quite too sure. We'll see. Thank you for recommending the idea, OS. The more ideas, the better. And let's see. I hope they're shy and didn't go to another cafe. There's only one cafe around here. And let's see. I mean, animations and events, like in preparing the cake, for example. Hold on. Or are you planning to add more animations? Oh, yeah. I want to have lots of colorful, lots of funny, silly things. Right now, we're doing the bare basics, and then I can worry about the sparkles and pizzazz later. Just want to make sure things are working, like how screens are enabled when things are not doing their thing. So, why, Cafe, are you not happy with my console? Let's see. Penku. Is it you? Penku console UI scene. Penku button. You're here, I believe. I don't think I have to drag and drop you. You should be good to go, I think. Parameter. Wait, what's this? Modules, text. That's new. I don't think that was there before. Hold on. Click play. Tilde. No. Go into here. Tilde. No. Huh. Interesting. Okay, you know what, game? Sometimes you just gotta accept. Alright, I think what we'll do is we'll do the ad break now. That way we won't have to do it in a little bit. And then we'll see about if we can figure out the icon. And then after stream, I'll see if I can figure out the reason why I can't use the cheats. Is I do want to add more cheats. Let me go ahead and subtract this guy here. We'll go back into you here. We'll let them do their thing since they're gonna in about 9 minutes. I'd rather do it now since it's kind of a good break point. And let me get some water. We'll do a bit of stretching. Let's see here. Water. Loving the stream, watching your process and explanations is cool and relaxing. Thank you. Is it our Hosu? My apologies for not catching your words earlier, but thank you. I'm glad it is. I even told it's either chaotic or it's relaxing or somehow it is both. But I'm glad it's a little bit of something. And hi, was it Alois? I think I can try again. Welcome into stream as well. Hello. Welcome in as well. All right, let's do those searches. Let's start off by going to the left, and then part to the right. And I wish it was a part of the game. What do you mean, Mohammed? Do you mean like contributing a part of it? I can say, hold on, let's go to the back, and then let's go to the forward, and then let's go to the right. I can certainly say I initially wanted to do 100% of my game by myself because I wanted to say and point to and say, this me, that me, all of that right there, I did that me. That was the initial one behind 100% making my game. So making the music, making the art, making the programming. However, I also thought it was fun to do sort of community things around the game. And recently I did a music jam themed around the game, where the idea was people had to create a new wizard type, a new flavor, and a new song around the wizard. And it was super duper fun. There was so many more submissions than I thought, and I was super duper grateful. And we've completed it. And now there's new customers on here. I think I'm gonna do another jam like that, but for spells. So typing out spells to certain parts. So if that's of interest to you, I hope to do that at some point. I don't know if soon or not, but that'll be a way if you want to get in on the action of the game. That'll be the next way. All right, let's go to the left a little bit. Oh, hold on. Something broke. I heard a crack. That's scary. Oh my. To the right a little bit. Okay, we're good. Let's go to the left. And I don't know if you sound like an anime character. I'm not sure which one, but your voice is amazing. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. I don't think I've heard that one before, but thank you. We can go to the left a little bit here. We can go down a little bit. We can go back a little bit. And I hope you're all nice and stretched out, because I am. I've been wanting to get into the habit of more stretching, because you gotta make sure your body's in good condition, especially if you plan to spend like 10 hours a day on the computer. It's not good for you. Surprisingly, I know. But just doing little stretches here and there can make a big help, especially when you're so stagnant. So I've been trying to take steps, which is why during the ad break, since it's a good solid 3 minutes, might as well make sure we get hydrated, chat for a little bit, since I like to pause during the ads. And welcome back from, oh, hold on, now. Welcome back. But I do my best to take a pause so that people who do get ads don't feel like they get left out on anything. It also gives me a chance to take a small break, since there's not really a point in stream where I stop speaking, and I'm always just like blah 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 blah. So it gives me a chance to talk about random things instead of the thing that we're focusing on. And hi, is it Dango or was it? Oh, I do remember having a question about that name before. Dango? I think it was Dan. No, Don. I think it was Don. Was it Dongo? Welcome in. I believe welcome back, because that does ring a bell. I believe I had the same question the first time around. But hi, and sup? And 10 hours? Rookie numbers. I like sleep, thank you very much. I need a good solid amount. Either way is fine. I see. Okay. Maybe I'm misremembering that. Saying that though, let's see what we're up against. I wanted to see if we could quickly figure out why the icon wasn't doing the icon-y thing. For example here, the icon should work so that we see the product. The product is cookbook.product. So that does work correctly. So somewhere along the lines, when we're using set icon, we're not using it correctly. So if I do Control-Shift-F to find everything in my project, this is everywhere we're using set icon at. Now this guy here, that's not me, that's a plugin. That's a plugin. Okay, item select, set icon, sprite. Now what are you? Type and value, Where are we getting value from? Set icon by type. We're using this guy somewhere else too. We have no creator, all of you guys here. So where are we doing set icon by type? Control-Shift-F. Where are we using this in code? A little bit less now. So we have item select icon. We have utility set icon connect. We have new item select icon dot select icon by type. So we have down here new item for new item and item array. Interesting. So current cookbook current level dot product. Let's go into here, and in our cookbook levels products, we do have cookbook products, so that's not an issue. Just doing a quick check, because sometimes resources can get a little bit angry. If we go into our sandbox level, what is the current cookbook values? We can see they currently are not null, so they do have what they need to know, which is good. So somewhere along the lines, the icon is not getting set correctly. I'll close these guys since we don't need them. There's a little bit too much information going on screen, and I can hardly tell what I'm looking at. I'm a little scared. Let's see. Hold on. My throat. One second. What? Now, so to cut it short, there was a gnat in my face. I breathed in. It decided it made a good home, and now I think, oh, I am disgusted. Oh, I'm so disgusted. I was just speaking. I breathed in, and it decided, yeah, great home. Oh, my throat. Okay, what were we doing? Yeah, we were looking at cookbook products, I believe. Unlocks, that's what we were looking at, but, I can't really focus now. Oh boy! It is already the end of stream, so, you know what, we'll end it here, because I need a second to process that. So we'll go into here. Oh man, you survived? At what cost? Doesn't feel like it. Oh boy. And did you make the BRB animation? Nope. I happened to find it. It just happened to suit my theme. But I did make this, this thing saying here. It's this body. I did make it. Oh boy, I need a second to process. Saying that, aside from the interruption, if you'd like to see me work on the game during the week, or if you'd like to have updates on the game during the week, you can join the Discord. There you go. There's the Discord thing there. And you'll be able to get updates as soon as they come out, any hot fixes, things of that nature. So if you want to get more involved in the game dev itself, that is an option for you there. And oddly enough, it didn't do the Discord. Oh, no, it did. Interesting. Okay, good. Lovely. If you're on YouTube, that'll be it for me. But if you're on Twitch, we're going to go to the ending screen, and then we're going to come back, and then we're going to take a deep breath. I don't wanna. We're going to go to the end screen, and then we're going to come back, and then we'll see if we can find someone to raid. Saying that, though, don't go bald. I have luxurious locks. Thank you very much. To those of you that don't know, I am a game designer, and I'm a game developer, game designer. They're semi-similar, kinda, right? Once a week, I do studies on pixel art. So if you'd like to get better at pixel art for your games, consider coming around next week, since we'll be learning how to draw crops. So, for example, if you ever wanted to make a farming game like Stardew Valley, figuring out how to make pixel art that could go into that game for farming. Saying that, thank you all for coming. I stream from Friday to Sundays from 1 to 5 p.m. EST. I hope to see you all sometime soon, TM, if not even sooner. Wink, nudge. And again, if you're on Twitch, I'll go to the end screen, and then I'm going to come back. So stick around if you'd like to participate in the raid, and we'll find a game dev to raid, a Godot one specifically. Saying that, though, I hope you all have a lovely morning, afternoon, evening, or good night, day, night, morning, something.